Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Gundogan City Show. I'm joined today by my brother, my favourite YouTube person.
He's watching in the comments now, isn't he?
Our friend Ryan. So, yeah. It's just one of them shows, isn't it, to pass some time. So, we've not really got too much of a subject because obviously there's not much football on today. There was the qualifiers, I suppose. There were some interesting results, I'd say. Some of them being that Ukraine drew with France. I wouldn't have expected that. But Zinchenko was captain, as it is. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and yeah, let us know if there's any questions that you would like answering. They're probably the
anything as well.
Yeah.
Including the Crusher McGonagall, anything Harry Potter related, like we discussed in the last stream, you know.
Let us know if you like Harry Potter in it, because we can make this a Harry Potter stream.
Yeah, we could actually make this Harry Potter show, to be fair.
Man like MB says, big up
MB.
Yeah. J Fresh Stunner says, yo, big up Jan, big up to you. Dupe says, big up. Ravi says, Guam with the late night stream. Yeah, things we've got to do in it. One Rovers Vlog says, big up to you both. Appreciate the shout outs as well. Hit 2K
no
today.
problem,
big
man.
up to you. You definitely deserve it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I retweeted this. Yeah, I retweeted what retweeted about it.
Yeah, I hope so. I need to get to 1,000. Once I get past 1,000.
1,000, you get monetization, don't you?
Neeks, I've got 10 hours left of my 24-hour shift, man. We're trying to pass time, you know what I mean? How can you not like Harry Potter?
Yeah, I don't get that.
You don't rate De Bruyne or you don't rate Messi or something. Honestly.
Nah, you gotta rate Harry Potter. Come on, Ravi. I expected better, innit? Expected better from you.
It's not that much better with a mic. You know what? I've had this mic for months and months, and I just don't use it. Yeah, we are J Fresh. We are. I can't sleep till about 1 p.m. and we're at 2:30 in the morning. Not even that. So got a long night. Nipun says hi, big up to you. Yeah, I was just saying about the Euro qualifiers. Probably the most surprising result was probably Turkey 4, Netherlands 2.
Yeah.
You know, that's my.
I love
Turkey, you know.
Yeah, you always talk about how you want to go there and stuff. Haven't you been before anyway?
Yeah, I go Turkey all the time.
Oh,
go
like
3 times a year or something.
3 times a year?
Yeah. Like I went 2020. I went in February and September, I think.
You went in September. I've never been, to be fair. I've always wanted to go. Yeah, I've always wanted to go.
But Turkey is so nice. I would live there. If I spoke Turkish, I would live there. I wouldn't live in England.
Really?
Yeah.
What part of Turkey, though?
Antalya. So nice there. I've been to other parts of Turkey. I've been to Bodrum. I passed through Istanbul. Their airport is amazing. And I've been to Marmaris as well, which is a little bit different. Like, I wouldn't live there. Yeah. Like, they try and buy me every time I go there. It's like, no, not for sale.
Are you going to, look to go City, go get to the Champions League final? Obviously, even if, fans aren't allowed in,
well, I think they are going to have some fans there. Like, I feel like I would want to go just to be in the same place in case City win it. Because imagine how good that would be.
It would be, yeah.
Be sick, that. Because you know what? The way City are, they probably just go to some random bar to party. Like, you'd be able to, go there. So that would be sick.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. That's if we get there. Do you know what?
I think you will, to be honest.
I agree with this. One Rovers flags, Portugal only 1-0. I was looking at that, Azerbaijan.
Oh, really? They only beat Azerbaijan 1-0?
Yeah.
Mad. But
Who
the
scored?
Jupe
Medvedev.
who?
Interesting. Medvedev scored an own goal.
So it weren't even like.
None
Okay.
of that team even scored. Apparently, Portugal had 15 shots on target and 8 shots off target. And they, Azerbaijan had 0 shots on target, 2 shots in general, 4 attempts.
Jesus.
Good. They had 68%
Portugal
possession.
is a strong team, though. Portugal
You know why they had 0 shots on target, right?
Yeah.
You know exactly why that is. Ruben Diaz, João Cancelo. Yeah, they just have a team and a half. Up front, they have Bernardo Silva, Andre Silva, and Ronaldo. And then behind them, they have Neto, Moutinho, and Ruben Neves. And behind that, they got João Cancelo. Yeah, I think Jota might have come on. No, Bruno Fernandes went on. They made quite a few changes. João Felix. Nah, he just came on off the bench.
Do they know he's overrated? That's why.
It's mad. It's mad. Do you know what? If I'm feeling like it in a bit, I might invite people on in it if you want to jump on and quickly say something.
Like who? Anyone come on?
I might do that because Nipan's asking when he can come on. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes, but might be able to. Yeah. Egypt. I've been to Egypt one time. I do like Egypt. It's nice, Egypt.
Yeah.
I bet it's terrible now. They'd all be like, Mo Salah. The minute you get the Liverpool jersey, they'd be like, Mo Salah, Mo Salah.
You know, if like people in Egypt were like regular watchers of this, I'd get killed in Egypt if I went.
Yeah, you would, yeah.
I'd actually get killed if I went to Egypt.
Do you know what?
My own safety.
When I went to Egypt, I was coming back like to England, so I was in the airport, and this guy like literally had a full-blown conversation with me in Arabic. Like he was chatting for time. So I thought, what can I do? Because I don't want to like be rude and be like, sorry, I don't speak Arabic. So I thought, let me just keep quiet in it. So I was just there. And then my mum came over and was like, Yannicka, here's your passport. And he just looked as if saying he didn't understand anything that I said. He had a full-blown conversation with me. But it's like, look, I don't look Egyptian, for being honest. So it's like, why would you just assume? But that being said, like a lot of them people over there look like me. You know, like, and in Turkey as well. Well, I don't even not look Turkish. I don't even not look Egyptian, to be fair, but it's mad.
My dad gets Egyptian quite a bit in terms of like.
Yeah.
I think my dad's had quite a lot of things where he's been called Greek before, Italian, Spanish, Egyptian. He's Turkish. Like he's been like, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you can tell too much because, like, my dad's the same. Like, my dad's obviously black, but he doesn't look black, so he looks like anything else. So he blends in basically everywhere we go. The only place that people don't think he's from there is Jamaica. Everywhere else, and even then, like, you could say he looks like a lot of Jamaican people. So I don't know. It's a bit mad. It just depends on the people, innit? But when I go Turkey, because I always go Turkey on my own, they just think I'm Turkish. I don't really go with anyone else. Yeah, I usually go on my own. Sometimes I go with like my mum. But yeah, usually I do go on my own. I like it there. Yeah. I just walk around at night on my own. Like, how I'm not dead, I don't know. But it is what it is. It's quite safe there too. Man like MB said, hit the like button and don't forget to share this vid on our socials and subscribe if you haven't already. Big up to you for that.
Big up.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I might open the lines in a bit and then you can come on. I didn't watch any international football.
I just found out the score. I rarely watch international football except for in tournaments, innit?
Yeah, if it's not the World Cup, I ain't watching it.
It's actually nice just like not having to stress about Liverpool for 2 weeks, innit? Like it's just a nice thing. Why can't it be like this all the time, honestly?
Yeah, definitely. Dupe says beautiful FC and Alison Potter FC. Love that.
Big up, Dupe.
Brian is that guy to date a girl named Alison Potter.
I could just
Imagine if
imagine
you met a
if I
girl
met
and she
this
said her
some
name was
girl called
Alison.
Alison. Oh,
You would have to marry her. You'd have to marry her and take her surname. Then you'd be Ryan Potter.
I could just imagine if I was with you and Flawless and I got with some girl and asked her her name and she went Alison Potter, you guys would absolutely piss yourselves.
No, that'd just be a weird
just imagine.
coincidence. You'd have to get a number and marry her. There's just no way.
Oh.
You know what's funny? My colleague that I was with today, his surname is Potter, innit?
Yeah.
His surname is legit Potter. It's so funny.
Does he have a relative called Alison?
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh God, you go ask him.
Probably. I'll ask him actually. Bruno is a scrub. You know what? Like,
I think scrub's too harsh, but he's well overrated.
The thing is, like, the problem is everyone keeps bringing up like, oh, his record, like he scored this many in this and blah blah blah, and it's just like, yeah, but that argument isn't used for like Kane. You know, when they talk about like player of the year, they're talking about like, oh, it should be Ruben Diaz because of blah blah blah, Gundogan because of blah blah blah. Then they're like, nah, it should be Bruno because of the stats. But it's like, if you're looking at stats, Kane could end up getting 20 goals, 20 assists. That's like, you know, that's not been done since Henry, I don't think. So
Henry, I think, Henry.
Yeah, so it's like, it's one of them things where it's like, if he does that, he's got more of an argument than Bruno Fernandes. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
So it's like, so if they're going to go off stats, then go off that. If you're going to go on influence, give it to someone like Ruben Diaz or give it to Gundogan or something like that.
Gundogan, yeah.
I personally would prefer Gundogan over Diaz, but I wouldn't care because he definitely deserves it.
I think it's hard for me to look past Diaz because I just think the impact he's had, it's similar to what Van Dijk had on Liverpool in the season. Where Van Dijk, obviously we didn't win the league, we won the Champions League, but the influence Van Dijk had on that team, the impact, which was mad, and the fact that Diaz, obviously I know you all love towards John Stones, but the fact that he's making John Stones look like a world beater, like that deserves recognition to me. So I can't look past Diaz, but Gundogan's a very, very close second for me, to be fair.
Yeah. I think that's how it will. I think Bruno will win it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think
think he will.
The hype will get to him. And I think he'll win it, and I think Diaz will be second, and I think Gundogan will be third. But
I'd actually be so upset.
If even gets
Bruno won it.
It's just, do you know what? It's a popularity contest. That's what it is.
If Bruno wins it, it just tells you about this stats generation. These younger fans who because I had a mate the other day, United mate, who's like, well, I actually asked him like Pogba. I think it was after Pogba scored against AC Milan, the winner. I was like, mate, I told you Pogba's your best midfielder by a mile. And he was like, no, Bruno, because look at his stats. And I'm like, fuck, no, man. This is actually like the younger generation.
Clear at Bruno, and I'm just
saying it's not even close.
He's actually
clear. Not even close.
Do you know what's mad?
Exactly.
That's the funny thing. Like when I was doing the watch along the other day and Pogba scored against AC Milan, I was like, this is what I've been telling you. Like, this is what I've been saying. Like, he is if he doesn't play that game, they do not win that and they do not go through. Like, I don't care what Bruno wants to say that he can do, but in big games where they need him, he ain't always there. So, yeah, definitely. But you know what? It's funny because I remember when Aguero came in, I always say this, when Aguero came in for his first season, he scored 26 goals in 30 games. He won the league in the dying seconds. You know, he was on fire that season, and his debut season as a young guy, he was only 23. And they gave it Kyle Walker for Spurs.
Kyle Walker got Player of the Year that year?
Young Player of the Year over Aguero. So ever since then, I've been like, I don't really trust it. Like, I want them to win it because I think it'd be nice for them to get an individual award. But I don't trust it. After that, I was like, nah. If they're gonna give it Kyle Walker, who he might have had a good season, but it wasn't anything breathtaking. Like, come on now, it's just madness.
You know why Bruno might win it as well? It's because the last few years it's gone to a player whose team's not won the league. Yeah. And obviously, like if you look at those years, like it's kind of rightfully the guy who has won it has deserved it. You know, Salah. As much as I slightly Salah, he deserved it that season. Van Dijk the next season, and De Bruyne deserved it last season. Even though we won the league, he deserved it. But the fact is, if Bruno wins it this season, you don't even deserve it. That's the thing for me. Like, you don't deserve it at all.
Do you know what it is? I think, like, there's a difference. Like, I think Terry was saying it on the Football Terrace today. And he was saying it for someone else, but it does apply to Bruno. He was basically saying, if you get like 30 goals in a season, but every single goal you get is the second or third goal when it's a clean sheet,
that's the ultimate stat.
That's not as impressive as someone who might have 15 goals, but every single one of them is a match winner that then leads you to win the league, because them 15 goals have got you a title. Do you know what I mean? Like, Bruno scored a lot of goals, but how many of them, like, how many games where, because if you think about it, Man United were top of the league by a little bit. There was a gap between City and United. And it's like, when that gap was there, what was Bruno doing in them games? Because Man City have come from behind, gone above, and not just gone above, gone clear. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like, if that's the other way around and Gundogan has the stats that Bruno has, but Man City have allowed Man United to go clear of them, I'm probably not saying give it to a City player in that situation, because I know, like you said, that Van Dijk won it, but Van Dijk won it when Liverpool were right behind and you won the Champions League. So even though it's a Premier League thing, it's like he won it because his influence when he came into Liverpool got you to almost win the league and blah, blah, blah. Last season, Man City weren't as close to Liverpool, but De Bruyne had a fantastic single season, as in him, he was brilliant. The rest of the squad weren't so much. So it's one of them things. I don't really know. I think he will win it.
But it's interesting, it's interesting what you were saying about
games. Like, if you said to me, is he on the pitch? A lot of the times, I don't know. It's only when he scores that I think, oh shit, Bruno was on the pitch. Yeah. Like, I don't really notice him. I don't.
His overall 90-minute performance is really bad at times. It's like I say, I always compare it to Salah. It's like, even Salah in games for most of the. Honestly, I'm not even like.
Yeah, no, I know. Liverpool fans do
most
say
of the game, he's selfish, and even with him last season, like, he scored. Obviously, he had good stats last season when we won the league, but a lot of his goals I remember were, like you said, third and fourth goals against. I remember one game we won 4-0 and he scored 2 goals against Southampton at home, but they were like the third and fourth goal late on. So that's like the definition of stat padding. That, like, I don't remember last season Salah scoring too many match-winning goals. It was mostly Mane, to be honest.
Yeah,
who would be scoring the match winners. So that's why I prefer Mane over Salah as well.
It's interesting because a Liverpool fan was actually agreeing with you with Salah. He was saying he's not a good finisher. And they were saying, he's got stats and all this, and it's like, but his finishing is not great. But I think, you know what, every sort of attacking player has times where they're clinical and then times when they're just not, and they're not,
but
probably
he's not clinical. He misses, like, he genuinely misses so many chances. Like, if he goes through on goal, like, I'm not sure if he's going to score. Like, I think last season he had like one of the worst conversion rates. His conversion rate last season in the league was like, it was like below 10% or something. Like, he had the most shots in the league, and he only, like, his conversion rate was terrible, and he misses a lot of chances. Like, probably not as much as Mane. I think Mane and Firmino obviously miss more. Like, out of the three of them, obviously excluding Jota, but out of Mane, Salah, Firmino, Salah is probably the best finisher out of the three of them. But it's not really saying much because they're all pretty crap finishes, to be fair.
Big up to Chronic Ballo. Ravi said, Ryan, I think we will beat Arsenal if we can expose them. They're shaky against pressing teams.
Yeah, I think we'll beat them because we're playing away from home, and, like, I've got no issues with the way Liverpool are playing away from home. We're winning games. We're playing well. Even the game we lost, we actually played well for most of that game. So I've got no issues with. I think we'll beat Arsenal. Actually, I don't, because Jan City said we'll win, and she's a Liverpool jinx.
So Granite will give you helping us to score. Neepan says his mum's Moroccan, Italian, Turkish. Ooh. Mixed up. Ooh. Mad Dog's asking, who do I want to replace Aguero?
I want Haaland.
Who we're not gonna get is Haaland, but who I want is Haaland. I'd take Mbappe if we have to,
You know the way. You know what? Do you know the way I see you getting this? The scenario I see you really getting Haaland is if Haaland knocks you out in this round. If Haaland knocks you out himself,
do you know what?
I think you'll get him.
Do you know what? That's what
I think that's
saying.
Your best chance of getting it.
If he knocks us out, they will be on the phone and he will come to City. And that's the thing.
I agree.
It's either we go out, or he mashes us up and we get him. Do you know what?
Do
you know what the worst case scenario is? He plays shit against us. They say we don't want him, and then we get knocked out in the next round, and then it's like Pete. I think I'd rather play as well.
And then
at least if we get,
you'd rather him just knock you out, so you just get it. I get what you mean. To be fair,
yeah, because if that Monaco game went differently and Man City won 2-0 both legs, we wouldn't get Bernardo Silva. We wouldn't have got Benjamin Mendy. We got them because he mashed us up differently.
And then they obviously went so far in the competition, Monaco as well, that their play came even more into demand as well.
And I think people like Fabinho, maybe if they get embarrassed by Man City, people ain't looking at them either. So, that game, that 5-3 game, I think that showed Monaco to the world even more. I'm not saying they weren't known because they won the league, but that game in particular showed what they had to offer. And, it was like a sale at the end of the season. Everyone was leaving. It was mad.
That was a mad game. I remember watching that game. That was mad.
Yeah, it's mad. Mad Dog said, if you didn't have Pep, who would you want as a manager? Do you know what? I don't know who I'd want to downgrade to, innit? I really don't.
Graham Potter?
I don't know. Probably not. I don't think City would go for him.
I think Graham Potter could be a good one. He plays.
Do you know what? I just don't know. I would trust Man City to pick the right person, even if it's someone that I think no. I feel like Man City would know what they're doing. I don't think they just get anyone in.
They're probably already thinking about it now, to be fair.
Do you know, I think it depends how long Pep stays, because I think if Pep stays another sort of 3-4 years, do you know who I think they'll bring in? I think they'll bring Arteta back,
Okay. Arteta?
Yeah.
I was thinking that Arteta. I feel like it depends how his time goes at Arsenal, though, to be fair.
Yeah, I think they're going to probably try and convince Pep to stay longer. And when Pep leaves, I think they'll get Arteta. And I don't think that would be a bad shout because I think he'll be a good manager. Because he's all right with Arsenal.
I still think he's got a lot to prove.
He does. But I think I could see that happening. I'm not saying it's going to work, but I could see that happening. Jay Fresh, he's a pen merchant. When United's pens dry up, he scores. Oh, nothing, fam. You know what?
No, nothing.
Yeah. Do you know what? I don't know. You have to take stats into account as how good a player is. But I just think on the eye test, he does nothing for me. I don't watch him and think, wow, I want him at City.
No.
So I'd say on the eye test, he fails.
I agree. When you watch him, he just... he does. On the stats, he looks brilliant, yeah. But even a lot of his assists are
5 yards.
They're not even do you know what I mean? They're not even assist that classes proper assists. Yeah.
Like De Bruyne's assists are putting it on a plate from
with
miles
him, stats just tell a completely different story.
But that's
proper on a
someone
plate,
was saying the
right
other
on
day,
your toe,
Yeah, someone was saying the other day about Gundogan. They were saying Gundogan doesn't get the assist, but he gets the pre-assist. So he'll pass it to De Bruyne, who will then pass it to I don't know, Foden, and he scores.
That unlocks the defense.
Yeah, so he does a lot of stuff, but he doesn't, because he doesn't get the assist. His stats are not as good, but yeah, I don't know. It's mad. De Bruyne, De Bruyne is definitely.
I feel
definitely much better.
I feel like at United, Donny van de Beek, if he was played more, could be that kind of Gundogan player. I feel like he has similar attributes to Gundogan. I think Gundogan's better than him, but I think he's kind of the similar profile of player in terms of similar attributes, Yeah. But obviously he doesn't get used.
Yeah, a man like MB says similar. He says, via stats, Bruno looks like the best thing since sliced bread, but via the eye test, he's not always at the races. I think I've seen bits of him which are great, but I don't think he's no, I don't think so. Don't compare him. Let's not forget Jordan Henderson. He's still too underrated. I don't think he's underrated. I think he's rated by Liverpool fans. I think from the outside looking in, I don't know if Ryan's pros, but I think from the outside looking in, like, he's not one of them players that you would look at and think, wow, he's one of them. I think Rodri is the same. Rodri's one of them players that you don't look at and think, wow, I want this player at my team, but he's good at what he does. He's effective at what he does. So, yeah, I think it's one of them things. In that Klopp system, Jordan Henderson's perfect. You saw how poor Liverpool were when he wasn't fit and he wasn't playing. So, yeah, it's one of them. Jay Fresh, Diaz has been great, but Gundo has been too. Yeah, I agree. For me, I would say Gundo edges it slightly simply because even though Diaz came in and completely fixed our defense, which you have to give him credit for, I think at the same time, for me, like, Gundogan just something else this season. He's given us that boost that we need. And, clean sheets, yes. Diaz, obviously, all day long. I think Stones has been amazing as well, to be fair. And if you actually watch them sometimes, it's John Stones that's the more standout player often. So it's one of them things. I just think, for me, like, Gundogan, just in the big games, he's there. He's putting us ahead. He's, scoring the key goals in key games. And, you just can't really underestimate that. I don't think we're definitely not in 4 competitions without Gundogan. Probably with Diaz as well, but maybe we still would have gone through against Everton without Diaz. But yeah, I think Gundogan is just something else this season. And I don't think he'll ever win it again. If he doesn't win it now, he'll never win it. Whereas Diaz, I think if Diaz continues at this level, he could win it another time. Ideal scenario would be Gundogan wins the Player of the Year and Ruben Diaz wins the Young Player of the Year, but I just can't see them giving it to 2 City players. It'll be Bruno Fernandes and probably Diaz for the younger one. So they don't have to give it to Diaz, the main one. Yeah, I agree with this. Like I said, there's been a few games where Stones has actually been better than Diaz. Bruno, highly overrated. Yeah, very overrated. Pogba's, way better. That's what I say. Big up to 1-1 in the building. People only hate on Kane because he plays for Tottenham. I think it's just there's a lot of people who rate players by what they've won. It's like you get them people that say, oh, Cristiano Ronaldo's clear of Messi. And when you ask why, they're like, oh, he hasn't won a World Cup. He's not won a European competition. It's the same shit. If you're rating Messi as worse than Ronaldo because of what he's won, then you have to look at Harry Kane and say, do you rate Harry Kane? Because if you're rating Harry Kane because he's a great goal scorer and you're not rating Messi because he hasn't done it in what's it called? International competitions, then it's a bit contradictory. So it just depends on what you like. For me, it's a combination of all the things. It's how good they are as a player, what influence they have in their team, and what they've won. I think it plays into it because, someone did make a point, I think it was yesterday, about Harry Kane and actually said, like, in them big games where you'd expect him to step up, he hasn't really been doing that. That Champions final was his chance to put his name on the map and say, okay.
I still don't think he was fully fit that game. I think Poch made a mistake playing him that game.
Yeah.
Like, he just come back from it.
If he does that, though, if he goes there and scores, I don't know, an equaliser against Liverpool or something like that, he's putting his name out there. Do you know what I mean? He's doing that. There's other times, like the other day against Zagreb, like he had his chance to say, right, okay, he only needed one goal. If they scored one goal, they would have gone through.
Yeah. As much as I rate Harry Kane, like I do, as much as I rate Harry Kane, I do agree with you. Yeah. In terms of, because I remember, the game we played against Tottenham. Yeah. When Tottenham were like top of the league with us in December, Firmino scored in the last minute. Harry Kane, I remember, because obviously that was a game where people were saying if Tottenham won, they could really go on and maybe win the title. And Harry Kane at 1-1, he missed a pretty easy chance from a corner. And you're like, well, he needs to be scoring those chances in these games. If Spurs really want, if that was a big game for Spurs, if they'd have won, it could have sent out a statement at the time. But he missed it, and these are the moments that he has to take and start winning these big games. So I understand.
Someone said, like, he scored 240 goals or whatever it is for Spurs, and not one of them has meant anything in the long run. You know what I mean? Like maybe top 4. Do you know what? This is probably setting him up now to score a hat-trick against Man City in this Carabao Cup final. But the thing is, that's what you expect from great players. We've seen it before with like Aguero with the dying minutes of the league when he's gone on to score that goal. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, but if that happens with Kane, Kane's going down for the penalty. I don't think he takes that on like Aguero does and puts it in the back of the net. I think he goes down and tries to get a penalty there. So things like that. I have seen it with other players, and I've not really seen it with him. And I'm not saying he's not good enough, because he is. And this is the thing. If I didn't rate him, then I wouldn't expect that from him. I rate him highly, that he should be doing more in these big games. And then that's when you get the ratings from everyone. Do you know what I mean? It's fair enough for Tottenham fans. They're always going to love Harry Kane. They're always going to love him, and they're always going to see him in this great light. But as an opposition fan, it's these sorts of games where he really steps up, So, I'd like to see it. Obviously, with England as well, there's the whole where he didn't pass to Sterling and all that stuff. So, there's been a few where kind of questions can be asked about him. But, I think if he leaves Spurs, he can do it. Or maybe even in the Carabao Cup final, he can score some goals, and then that will make Tottenham win a trophy. But I think there's just been times where you can question maybe a little bit. I think United need to sell him if they're not.
Well, do they want to sell him? I thought he wanted to go. I didn't know they wanted to sell him.
I feel like they'd say that they wanted to sell him even if he said he wanted to go, just so they don't look like they've wasted money. Jay Fresh said United win 9-0, and had it not been for the pen, he wouldn't have got one. Exactly. Bruno.
Was that the Southampton game?
Yeah, like how is your team winning 9-0 and you're not scoring? Like you're scoring a pen. Like that's ridiculous. I feel like with him, it's like penalty. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, penalties. You still have to score the penalty. So penalties are one of them things where, regardless of how many you get, you still need to put them away. But at the same time, it's like he's being gifted goals, because I was saying the other day, like Martial, right? Martial is your striker at the club, right? So he's Man United striker. He's struggling for goals. He's got the same amount of goals as John Stones, right? So it's like he's struggling for goals. He goes to a derby, he wins a penalty, and you don't give it to him. I just think like games like that, give him the pen. You know what I mean? If he misses it, it's 30 seconds into the game. If he misses it, doesn't make a big difference. Give him the pen, let him score, and let him get his goals up so he's got more confidence.
Martial's a good penalty taker as well. I've seen him score penalties.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, and I'm not even a Martial fan, but I'm just saying, like, if they gave him them sorts of penalties rather than him trying to take every single penalty going, if you give him a penalty, he gets his confidence up. He might go on and score in that goal. He missed an open net. I don't think he misses that if he scores a pen in the first minute. I don't think he does. And obviously, I'm glad that, Bruno took it, because it meant that we didn't lose by a heavier score. But honestly, I think if they gave that to Martial, he scores it, he goes on, scores another goal. He might even get a hat-trick. Do you know what I mean? You've got to give some players need more confidence than others. Do you know what I mean? Like Aguero. Didn't score. He'd come back. We got a penalty. We gave it to Aguero. Aguero scored the penalty.
Yeah,
and then he started to put more Yeah, you have to, they could have just said, oh, Aguero's not on form. He's not scored this season. Let's give it to someone else. But they said, no, let's give it Aguero. He's our penalty taker anyway. But let's give it Aguero, build his confidence. And that's what he did. And I think it's poor from Bruno, really, because I think, yes, you might want to get goals, but you've got enough goals. You've got loads of goals. He probably wants to be the top scorer so he can get the golden boot. But at the end of the day...
Do you think he plays for himself?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And people can argue with me all they want, but things like that, you've got a player who's struggling to score. Like we've seen at the start of the season with Gabby, he was struggling to score. They gave him a penalty. I think he missed it. They just gave him a penalty, right? He missed it, and then they didn't give it him again. But at least you give him one, give him a chance. You know what I mean? Like, there's no, like you said, it's not like Martial is a terrible penalty taker and he's going to miss it. Like, you literally don't know. So, I don't know. Ravi said, who do you think will leave City in the summer? I think Garcia will go back to Barcelona. I don't think too many players are going to leave. I think Fernandinho probably will leave. I hope not. He's my favourite player, but I think he will leave. Aguero will leave in the summer, unfortunately. So, yeah, I think we're going to lose some of our legends, to be fair. But in terms of our actual team members that are part of the squad, week in, week out, I don't think we're going to lose any of them. I think we'll get a couple of players in. Couple of players go out. I don't think it's going to be too drastic unless somebody decides that they just want to leave, but I doubt it. Bruno is a stat padder, and United fans make it worse. Yeah, you know what? Man United fans have been overhyping their players for years. If you look at Man United, right? If you speak to a Man United fan online, Martial is clear of Gabby, right? Which is fair enough. You might even agree with that, right? Yeah, Pogba's the best midfielder in the league, right? Bruno is clear of De Bruyne. De Gea was clear of Ederson. Maguire was better than Stones. Luke Shaw is clear of Zinchenko. Wan-Bissaka was clear of Cancelo. All of this stuff, if you actually listen to what they say and look at where they are in the table, they'll tell you, oh, it's the manager. But they were saying that under Jose Mourinho. Like, if their squad is really that much better than Man City, then why are they below Man City in the table? Do you know what I mean? Like, you just got to be realistic, you know?
I think they have overhyped some of their plays, like Bruno. I think they are right. I rate Pogba as personally the best midfielder. I rate Pogba as well. Yeah. I do think the manager does play a part because, like me and Flawless say, like, Ollie tax is the heftiest tax. Like, he is an absolutely terrible manager. And, you know, you're obviously going to benefit more from having Pep Guardiola as your coach than Ollie. Yeah. But, you know, there are certain positions in the team where they do, like Bruno. I actually think Rashford's overrated. I rate Rashford, but I think they overhype it. I actually think him and Bruno are similar in terms of how much they're overhyped by United fans. Like, on it, because when I watch Rashford, it's a similar thing. Like, he's just kind of non-existent in games at times, and his touch is awful at times, and he does stupid things. But then, you know, he looks good on paper with his stats. Like, and same with Bruno's worse, man. You know, it was interesting what you said about Bruno earlier on, that he plays for himself. And I remember you saying do you remember when he scored that really good volley about a month ago?
Yeah, and he posted it on his page.
Yeah. And he posted, what did he post again? Oh,
he posted saying something about, like, this was not the fit, like, not the result we wanted, but then he posted 4 pictures of his goal from different angles. And I'm just like, the thing is, like, it's, you know, people can talk about Ollie all they want, but there's mentality as well. And, like, Pep aside, our players have this mentality. I think, honestly, if Pep left tomorrow, the players are still going to have this mentality. And they're like, we do things as a team. If our team lose, we're not happy. Doesn't matter. They could score. Aguero could score 5 goals in a game. If we lose 6-5, he's not celebrating that. He's not. Yeah. He might post something like, "Oh, I've finally reached 500 goals," or if it's something like different like that. You know what I mean? But he's not going to be posting about the goal online. Like, he's just not his best goal or whatever, because it's like, you have to win the game first. If you win the game, then you celebrate your goals. I haven't seen a Man City player ever post their game after post their goal after we've lost. They only do it when we win.
That's one thing I will credit Salah in a way that Salah obviously does have that, like, you could say selfish kind of streak in him where, at times he won't pass and, he wants goals. But at the end of the day, like, I don't think he does it. Like you said with Bruno is like kind of he does play for himself. He doesn't, I wouldn't say care about the team, but it is more about his personal numbers rather than the team. Whereas, and like Jan said, it's like, when he posted that picture after the goal of like the 4 pictures, but then says, "Oh, what a bad result." Like, if you're a United fan after the game, you're pissed off after that result, and you're like, well, he's posting that, but then we're pissed off after this poor result and shit performance. But then he's just showing off about his goal. Like, what's the point in it? Whereas Salah, like, I do feel like I don't really look at what players post after a result, to be fair, because when they lose and they post all this shit like, "We'll do better," like, prove it on the pitch, and I don't care what you say on social media. But I do feel like, in fairness, Salah does actually play for the team in a way. At times, like, he does care about the team more, to be honest. So, yeah, I will give credit for that, to be fair. In a way, and City's gone, to be fair. He says, "Ryan, who would you start, bench, or play more at Liverpool at the moment?" It depends, like, who do you actually mean? Like, because you've not actually mentioned any players. Are you asking me to, like, name the whole starting 11 or something like that? Because,
sorry,
I mean, if I was to name, obviously, I'd strongly start 11. Yeah, I was just answering Ravi's question, because I was saying actually about Salah, in terms of, obviously we talked about Bruno, and it's like, he does really, he cares more about his personal achievements, and you could say Salah's kind of the same in terms of, he has that selfish streak in him when he plays, but I do actually think that Salah cares about the team as well. Like, he doesn't do these things. I don't really look at what a player does on social media, because if Liverpool were to lose and they posted all this shit after, like, "Oh, we'll improve, we want to improve, we're disappointed," like, I don't care in it. Like, prove it on the pitch, in it. But, like, I don't really see Salah doing all this, like, posting about his goal even when we lose and shit. Like, he does. Like, imagine if you're a United fan, you're pissed off after that shit result and shit performance against West Brom, and Bruno, your player, just suddenly only cares about his goal and he's just posting. You're going to be pissed, aren't you? So,
I think there's a lot of drama. Like, Man City fans, like, they argue over certain things. Like, they'll say, like, "Oh, don't rate." There was a lot of people that didn't rate Gundogan. There's a lot of people that don't rate Sterling. There's people that don't rate certain players that we have. And they'll kind of get into debates, but it's never like, we don't have like a Martial FC. Do you know what I mean? So we don't have like a Sterling FC where people are just like, they support Sterling before City. Like, everyone kind of supports City first.
Yeah.
And then they'll have their favourite players. Whereas Man United, they have people that support Ollie over the club. So, like, as long as Ollie's doing well, they don't care. Do you know what I mean? Then it's like, they have different, like, players that they like, and they'll be like throwing Bruno under the bus, going, "Oh, shit," because they've got a Pogba agenda, or vice versa. And it's just like, it's just, to me, it's just weird. Like, I understand saying I prefer to start this player over this player because I think they're better, but it's like, it's a bit mad.
Obviously, you have your favorite players, but above all, you support the club more. Like, I remember someone asking me in the comments once on maybe one of the Q&As, saying, "Would you?" I mean, I don't hate Salah this much. Where they asked me, "Oh, would you rather Salah score 40 goals and like 20 assists or whatever, get absolutely crazy numbers, and you win the league and Champions League, or he gets like the complete opposite?" And I was like, obviously, I'd rather him get the numbers. Like, I care more about the club. Like, I don't hate. I want Salah to do well because if he does well, it benefits my club. I want to like him because it benefits me or my club. But you know, and obviously, of course I'd choose the best option for my club, which would be to win the Premier League and Champions League. I don't care how they do it, as long as they do it. I don't care which player, anything. Like the club is above everything at the end of the day. Like I get what you mean about like, and this ain't like a dig at like Egyptian fans, but you know the majority of football fans in Egypt will say they're Liverpool fans, whereas they're actually Salah FC, aren't they? Like if Salah was to move to Real Madrid, they'd all be out buying their Real Madrid shirts the next day, wouldn't they? Like, so I get what you mean. That's like Salah FC, and you know you do have people who
definitely.
That's what it is.
And, you know, like you said, Mahrez, because I like Mahrez.
I was going to say that.
He doesn't start. They all start attacking Man City like, Pep is clueless. Pep doesn't know what he's doing. It's like he just dropped Mahrez for one game. Like he's played 3 games this week. Why? I don't know. It's mad. One says Dortmund are terrible at the back, but they're good on the court, or they can beat anyone at their best. I agree. That's going to be a very difficult game for us.
It's like what you said. Sorry, I was going to say another point about this fans thing. It's like, obviously, you know, Fernando Torres is like my hero in life. He's my favorite footballer in all life. Always has been. When he left to Chelsea, I didn't go with him to Chelsea. I stayed with Liverpool. It's the club at the end of the day. I went Torres to see. I love Fernando Torres to the death, but I support Liverpool more. I love Liverpool more than I love Fernando Torres.
The player,
You know, I didn't go to Chelsea with him, so yeah.
Yeah, because there's a lot of Ronaldo fans, so they supported Man United because of Ronaldo. So when Ronaldo left, they were like, I don't really know why I support Man United because the player that I supported is gone. So I think it's always a little bit dangerous to be like that. Do you know what I mean? Because you just never know. Like De Bruyne could turn around this summer and be like, you know what, fuck City, I'm leaving. Like you just don't know. I'm not going to be like, I'm a De Bruyne fan. You know, like luckily my favorite player has stayed his whole career, and it looks like he's going to retire pretty much at City or go somewhere else, just you know, for football at the end of his career.
If Fernandinho had left City, let's say 4 or 5 years ago, and even gone to like any club, you wouldn't have gone to support that club. You would have stayed with Man City because you love Man City more than you love Fernandinho.
Yeah, I've been supporting Man City since they were really shit. Trust me, no player could make me leave. Like I love Pep, but nah, I'd just watch Pep at another club like people do with Pochettino, where they, you know, they look out for PSG because they love Poch, but they're not PSG fans.
It's funny because like it used to be like, obviously this ain't talking about a certain player, but like when Liverpool were absolutely shit around like 2015 and these times in it, like I'd say to myself when Liverpool lost, right, I'm not supporting Liverpool ever again, you know. I'm not going to watch football. So I'd go the whole week without thinking about football, thinking I'm not supporting Liverpool again. But when the game would come, I'd try to not watch it, but I just have to go and watch it. Like you just can't separate yourself from the club, can you? At times, like even the game's on, you like. I tell myself during the week, no, not a Liverpool fan anymore, not watching football. But when the game actually comes, you're like, God, you know, I'm watching it in it, like that's it, and then you just filled with the same passion again.
Season, to be honest, they were driving me insane, and then they just, you know, I can't ever really rule City out. Man like MB asked me, Jan, your top 5 Aguero goals. Do you know what? My memory is like a sieve. So the only ones
he asked you. He put this in the Q&A, I think, but then you went off.
Yeah, no, I'll answer it now. So my favourite is probably that Liverpool goal at the Etihad, I think it was.
Was that when he rounded Reina and put it from the tight angle?
That tight
I remember watching that on TV. I was like, how the hell had he scored that? Like,
unreal. Like, we didn't think it was going to go in, and then we just seen it go in, and we were like, what? Everyone just like went mad.
I couldn't believe it was in.
Yeah. That goal was mad. I loved his goal, his other goal against Liverpool, actually. You know, where he made that face and he like ran to celebrate. I think it's when we 2-1 or something like that. It was in the
time. He scores against us all the time.
I think it might be the one.
Was it that one where played
it off the line? I think it was that game.
Was it? I think I remember he controlled it and he smashed it into the roof of the net from a tight angle, because it was that game where Dane scored the winner.
Yeah, that game.
And he was in front of the Liverpool fans, and
Yeah, and he went and celebrated. So yeah, that one definitely. Obviously the Aguero goal.
Obviously.
I can't really. Do you know what? The way that he stayed on his feet and put that into the back of the net the way he did. Love that. Great goal.
I think one Aguero goal that gets underrated, it don't really get talked about, was the equalising goal against Brighton when you won the back-to-back. Because obviously you'd gone 1-0 down, and to literally reply a minute later.
Yeah.
Like, if he hadn't, that game could have gone differently if we could have won the league. So, could have won the league and Champions League.
Aguero's got so many bloody top goals. I just think the ones that I remember are sort of them ones where there's like tight angles against Liverpool. Obviously derby goals. He scored some decent derby goals from tight angles as well.
You know which Aguero goal I always it was a banger. Remember that goal he scored? Was it against Chelsea when he just smashed it top corner from about 40 yards out once? There was this mad goal he scored against Chelsea once.
It might have been the 6-0. There was some good goals.
I think it might have been, yeah.
That was on my birthday. You know what? He scored 4 goals in one day on my birthday. And I was like, you know what? This guy loves me. Aguero actually loves me. I'm convinced. I messaged him before the game saying, it's my birthday. Do you want to score some goals? And he scored 4. I was like,
I tried DMing Fernando Torres a few months ago. He still hasn't seen it.
Did he block you?
Nah, he still ain't seen it, has he?
Do you know what? It's funny when it says seen, because it's like you actually know that they've seen your message.
Have you actually messaged once and they've said seen?
Do you know what? The only person that I've ever messaged is Kelechi, and he always replies. That's the only person I've ever messaged, and he replies every time. If I messaged him now, he'd reply. Maybe not at this time, but when he gets up, he'd reply. It's mad. Yeah, he's really cool. That's why I was so happy for him, because he's doing so well at the moment.
Yeah.
Because he's genuinely down-to-earth, decent guy.
Yeah, he seems like a nice guy, yeah.
He is. Arteta in manager school getting ready to come back. You know what? Better players, I think Arteta would do good. I agree. If he can win a title with Arsenal, people talk all the time about, Man United need this player and this player to win a title, and they need this and this. Arsenal don't have that, and they still won an FA Cup. So it's like, and I wouldn't say that Arteta is a better manager than Ollie. Do you know what I mean? So I think a lot of it is excuses. Do you know what I mean? I think he is better, Yeah, I think he's better, but it's not clear. It's not clear. He's only been managing for a few years. Do you know what I mean? Like, come on.
Did you watch Agenda FC? Have you seen Agenda FC that me, Lewis, and Lois did earlier on? They were ranking all the managers and they put Arteta 20th. I actually felt bad for Arteta because I didn't think he deserved that, to be fair.
He's not that bad. I actually like Arteta. I think he's going to be really, really good.
Definitely. He was in 20th place. They put him below that Paul Heckingbottom at Sheffield United.
Do you know what? It's just because he was in there, I don't know. I just think he'd be all right. He'll be all right. 1-1 said sometimes pass before the assist is key. Is the key. People get excited with stats. Yeah, it just depends on how the game goes. A lot
the killer pass. David Silva always used to do it.
Yeah.
Obviously, David Silva.
Yeah.
That pass, he's always in that left channel. That pass into maybe like Leroy Sané, which would kill it, and Leroy Sané would just play it across.
Yeah.
The amount of times David Silva would do that, and that's the killer pass play. Obviously, don't go down as an assist. Sorry. But this is a great comment from 1-1. It's like, I think he's talking about Bruno. It's like Gary Carragher and Neville talk like he's the Dan and stuff. Like Gary Neville, when he's commentating on a United game with Bruno playing, is so annoying. Literally, Bruno will like misplace a simple pass, and Neville will go like, "Oh, that's really unlike Bruno." And I'm like, he's done it 10 times already in the game. Like, watch the game in it. Like, you guys are right up his arse, honestly. Neville and Bruno and these guys.
Some bars for you guys. No, I'm joking. Man like MB says Gundogan was always good. I'm not surprised at his form this season. For me, watching him at Dortmund, it was about overcoming his injury issues, and now he's done that. You're seeing his best form. Yeah, there's a reason why Pep bought him when he was injured. I actually really like Gundogan. That's why, like, my tweet that I've pinned on my Twitter is me saying I love him, like 2 years ago. Because I used to always tweet that I loved Gundogan, but Yeah, he was so underrated in our squad. Like, a lot of our fans wanted him to go, but I always thought in Europe he was our best player. I really thought that, and now we're kind of seeing what he's capable of. Really, yeah, Stones 100% has definitely improved. Kane is better than Bruno for sure. And you know what? If they're gonna go off stats, give it Kane, because at least Kane could do 2020. Which is mad. And people talk about Bruno and where he's got Man United. Like, you can also argue that Man United have got a better squad than Tottenham. So
yeah, they do.
They talk about him not getting, players in that squad not getting this and that, but I think in a tighter system, Bruno doesn't get the goals that he's got. So
can I just say with Bruno as well, I always say this, when he joined Man United, what other clubs were interested in him at the time? No other club was interested in him at the time.
I don't remember anyone being like, yeah.
I don't remember any other club being in for him. It was literally only United, and United fans will probably get onto me for this, but let's be honest, at that time United brought Bruno. If Man City or Liverpool had, Pep and Klopp had gone in for Bruno, he would have gone to either one of those two ahead of United. They were much more attractive propositions at the time under much better managers. But they didn't want him. If they knew if they would have gone in for him, they would have got him ahead of Oli. So why didn't they go in for him? Because they probably knew that they weren't impressed by him, the way he plays. So that's why they didn't take him. But I think Pep in particular would hate Bruno. Pep would hate Bruno so much.
Yeah. He would drag him off. Neither would you take Robin Gosens at City? I've not watched him enough to know, to be honest. I don't really know. So I've not really seen him play too much. I don't really watch other leagues, you say. So anyone that's like in the Italian league, the German league, all of them, I don't watch them. I don't watch La Liga. Don't watch any of them now. I used to follow La Liga religiously because I used to like Athletic.
There was a couple of seasons when Suarez left Liverpool. Obviously, I was a big Suarez fan, and as a player, not as a person because he's a twat, but as a player, and obviously, like for the first two seasons at Barcelona, he was like with Messi, Suarez, Neymar. I was literally just watching La Liga every week just to watch that front three. But since then, I don't. Yeah, but that was the only time. Really.
Where is this a Bruno agenda come from? You know where it came from? It came from your fans saying that he was clear of De Bruyne, so you brought on yourself. But yeah, I don't know. People always say that he cares about the team, man. Maybe he does, but at the end of the day, like, his job is to fight on the pitch. That's actually his job, to go out there and put up a fight. I want to see him fighting when you're going out of a cup. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see him fighting when you're 3-0 up. I want to see him fighting when you're 1-0 down to Leicester in a cup and he's trying to get you back in the game. That's what I want to see. Or when you're 3-1 down and you've got like 20 minutes left. That's when I want to see him fighting. Salah isn't on social media like that. Come on, bro. Number 2, a lot of players don't run their own social media accounts. They have a team doing it. They're not every face fan. Then look at Joe Hart. I don't know about that Joe Hart thing, innit? I don't know. That wouldn't surprise me if he did it, because the way that looks, right, it's like he's not watched it and he's seen the score and just assumed that Tottenham won 3-0 and he's put job done. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Some of them have their own social media, like, you can tell. I think Gundogan is one, because he said that he got mad because they tried to say that he was scoring goals and he said, no, don't put that. I only care about the team. So he said that. Big up to Zane. He said, we see you, Jan, with your own setup. Glad to see you firing on your own channel. Big up to you for that. Jeremy says, Salah is selfish though, Ryan. Come on, man, you are mad blind. He shows it every time. And number 2, the best players have an element agreed in them.
I agree. I actually agree with this from Jeremy, because not the part where you say I'm mad blind, but about Salah in terms of no, I agree. Salah's selfishness is actually something that I don't mind at all, really. I mean, obviously there have been some times over the last few years where he's not passed and has been pretty mad, but that's not one of the reasons why I get onto him. In fact, I don't mind him. I think you can afford sometimes it's not bad to have a player like that in your team who have that element of greed. What I was saying, and I wasn't criticising Salah for it, I was actually defending him for it, is that with Bruno, put it this way. If United were to lose a game, but Bruno would have scored a couple of goals, I feel like Bruno would be happy with the game. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though they lost. But I still feel with Salah.
Whether that's actually him or not, that's the vibe that he gives out.
Yeah, that's the vibe. Whereas though Salah,
go on.
Even though Salah does care about his goals and his numbers and stuff, I still feel like if Salah scored a couple of goals, but we lost, like we did in the FA Cup to United, we lost 3-2. He scored a couple of goals. I feel like he would have still come off the pitch unhappy. Whereas I think if it was Bruno in that position, I still think deep down he would be happy with it, and he would. You get what I mean? That's the sort of vibe he gives you. Like.
Yeah. It's like Joe Hart, because I remember Joe Hart used to play out his skin for City. He was great for us. But there was some times when it's like that derby really annoyed me when Van Persie scored that last minute goal, and they went to some award show that night and he was laughing and joking next to Van Persie. And it's just like things like that. It doesn't matter that they're friends outside of football and, they get on and they were just having a laugh and a joke. It's how it looks. You've just lost the derby. You've conceded a free kick. You're the one that's in net. He's then next to you and you're laughing and joking and all this crap. And it's just like, it just came across badly to fans and obviously didn't go down well. And it's just like, at the end of the day, that might be your best friend, but just calm it down a little bit. It only just happened. It's an evening game. It was like, it finished late at night. I remember going home, seeing the rewards. Next minute, I see Joe Hart on there laughing and joking with Van Persie, probably about the goal. And it's just like, it's a Manchester derby. Like, there's certain things that you just can't do. It's like the first derby where they're all hugging and stuff. It's like, no. Like, you just can't. Like, I don't even mind if it's against another team like an Everton or something like that. But when it's Man United,
not a derby.
Like, fans are going to feel like that will depress the fans for the next week. And you're there laughing, joking like you don't care 2 hours later. It's just, for me, things like that is what, and I've not seen that from Bruno. I just get that sort of vibe from him. From that post that he put, it might be that he just put the post and it was a completely different reason. I don't know. But that post came across very much like that. Like, oh, well, okay, we drew, but I scored this fantastic goal. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like, I don't remember too many of City's goals where we don't win the game. It's like Flawless said it too. Like, they might score the best goal ever, but if you lose 3-1, I don't really remember that goal too tough, if I'm being honest.
Like Lamella the other week for Tottenham against Arsenal. He scored that amazing goal, but like, you didn't see the Tottenham fans happy at the end of the game, did you? Like, they lost to their biggest rivals.
It's basically a consolation goal without it being a consolation goal at the time, because that's just how it's seen. Carlton says Dortmund can't defend, it won't be easy. Do you know what? I just think Champions League's a little bit of a different beast. People get through.
You'll get through.
It's on moments, man. Definitely.
I think you'll get through, to be honest. I can't see Dortmund knocking you out over 2 legs. Maybe over 1 leg, but over 2 legs now.
Who was your best strike partner for Kun? You know what? Who was the best duo? Kun and Silva. But in terms of strike partner, do you know what? Like, obviously, when he first came, I think it was Dzeko. We had Balotelli and we had Tevez who came in. And they were decent together. All of them, all 4 of them were key in sort of our wins. My favourite partnership with Con, even though they might not have been the best.
Was it Negredo?
Yeah, Beauty and the Beast, we called them. I really like them together. That first season.
Negredo,
Negredo got injured. He got a shoulder injury and he never was the same. He went from...
Because I remember that. Because that was a season where we almost won the league with Suarez.
Yeah.
And he scored a winner against us, Negredo. And Negredo was on like fire for like the first half of the season. Yeah, it kind of died down, Yeah,
he got injured and he just was never the same. But that before he got injured, he was unreal. And him and Aguero just linked beautifully. So I think that's probably my favourite. It might not be the best in terms of the most goals and stuff like that, because I think Dzeko was probably the best sort of in terms of stats. But I actually really like them. Aguero just had mad records, man. 1-1, greatest City player ever and your favourite City player ever. The greatest City player ever is probably Colin Bell, if we're being honest. He could do everything. I haven't seen him. I wasn't alive when he was playing. But yeah, I think he was he was the guy that a lot of City, you know what, Man United fans rate him. You know, Man United fans used to go to Main Road to watch him play. He was that good. And at that time they had George Best. So it's not like Man United had a shit team. They had a fantastic team and they still went over to watch Colin Bell play. So I'd say he's probably our greatest player ever. In this sort of generation, I'd say it's David Silva probably in terms of the actual best player ever. But there's shouts like Yaya was fantastic for City. Aguero speaks for himself.
Even Vincent Kompany.
There's a few. Vincent Kompany, best captain. Definitely the best captain I've had in my lifetime. He was something else. So yeah, there's quite a few. De Bruyne at the end of his career could well be up there as well. So
who's City's captain at the moment? Who holds the Premier League title for City at the end of the season?
Guess.
Fernandinho, isn't it?
Of course. We need to win this title, man. Oh my God.
You've won the title.
I am gonna they need to get me in that stadium. I don't care if they need me and 9,999 other City fans, because I'm telling you now, I need to be in that stadium and I'm gonna get my way into that stadium somehow.
Now, do you know what they need to do for you with Fernandinho? You need to be the one to give the trophy to Fernandinho.
You know what? I'm actually gonna message Man City and ask him if I can do that, because my God. Socially distanced trophy, and oh my God, yes, that should be me. No, none of these little kids who have been supporting City for 5 years. I don't care if they've got some sub story. That should be me, Fernandinho's biggest fan. Yeah. Oh my God, I'd love that.
You give him a little kiss, say goodbye.
Oh my God, yes. Nah, I'd be like, nah, come live with me, man.
Oh God.
Yeah, Jeremy, I don't know if that was the sole reason why they won it, to be honest. Gundogan, was class in that season. Can't lie. Fernandinho was out. There was so many players.
Yeah, I remember that. Because I remember, because obviously Fernandinho was so key for Man City in that DM role. And obviously we were going for the title with you. I just think when Fernandinho get injured, I was like, secretly, obviously I don't wish injury in players, but I was like, yes, deep down, because but Gundogan was didn't do anything wrong, did he, when he came in fairness to him?
Do you know what, Ravi? Right now, it's Ederson.
Yeah, you'd have to say right now, yeah. I think over the last 2-3 years, it has been Alison overall, in my opinion. And I still think Alison at his best beats Ederson at his best, probably because of a personal preference, to be fair. But yeah, this season Ederson's been better.
System-wise, Ederson is perfect for our system. It's kind of like them where it's like Alison probably works better for your system. So I think if you swap them, they wouldn't be as good, if you know what I mean. So
I think they're the two best in the league. I think they're the two best in the league. I'll say that.
Definitely between them two, yeah. A proper striker, Bruno won't take his pens away, which is mad to say. Stats ain't that great. Exactly. Gundogan's actually got better stats if you take away the pens. Not overall, because Bruno's got more assists, but a lot of Bruno's assists are they're not I don't know. I'm not gonna say anything else because people get offended when you kind of slander Bruno. But
Jeremy's already getting offended. Yeah.
Do you know what? No, the reason why he's in this show, the reason why we're talking about Bruno is because people keep bringing him up for Player of the Year, and we don't think that he is the Player of the Year. That's why he's getting brought up. If we weren't talking about who's up for Player of the Year, then, But the thing is with Pep is Pep does not like players that give the ball away. I've seen Man City players subbed off if they give the ball away too many times. there's no way that someone that gives the ball away as much as Bruno does stays on the pitch for Man City. I don't know for Klopp, but I know for a fact Pep wouldn't do that. And the thing is, we weren't linked to Bruno for a reason. Do you know what I mean? He's probably seen it. Do you know what one I like? My dad watches a lot of football. Like, he will sit and watch any game. But me, I don't have time. Like, I barely watch Man City. The only reason why I watch Man United at the moment is because we do live watch-alongs.
Yeah.
That's it. If not, I wouldn't even watch United. I'd just simply watch Man City. Still think Alison and Mendy are probably the best at the moment. Hugo and De Gea, Leno and Pickford have lost a bit of spike for me. Keep getting caught out in silly areas. Yeah. Do you know what? Statistically, I was looking at something today and it showed that Ederson has saved more shots than is expected. So his stats are really, really good across the board. Not just that he's got more clean sheets. Do you know what I mean? Papi Rico says, I can see Yannicka doing anything she wants to in football, maybe not playing, I don't know, speak so well. Oh, I love that.
She's really talented. She's mad talented.
I love that. Do you know what I could do? Like the nighttime streams for our away fans, innit? Not our away fans, sorry, our foreign fans that are awake at these daft times, like me. But yeah, I know what you mean about Bruno, but if you watch him when he's playing, you can see his reactions when things don't go right, whether it's his pass or someone else's mistake. He wants to win over everything. Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think he doesn't want to win. That being said, I just think it's just, I don't know, you get some players that are all about the team. Like, I'm not saying every single City player is like that. Some City players, they're probably more for themselves than other people. It happens in every team, innit? So I don't know. I don't know him. I'm not saying this for a fact. I'm just saying this is the vibe that I get. We don't know these players. The same way as I'm saying I don't think he's for the team. You saying that he is for the team is also an opinion. You don't know that. So, it is one of those things. It's all, you just have to see. I think he's trying to say Negredo was quality for you City guys, not Stephen.
Our first season.
Stephen Allen was great for Man City, to be fair. He was good at a time.
Scored a couple of goals against Liverpool, I remember.
Yeah, I really liked Stephen Allen. He was funny as well. He used to take his pants off in the pitch and have Superman underpants and crazy shit like that. He'd probably get fined nowadays.
Oh yeah, you definitely get fined.
They wouldn't have him. I remember he used to have a black Range Rover with bright pink wheels. Bright pink rims. He was something else, him. But I liked him. I did like him. You know what? That whole City squad in under Sven, I really liked that City team. That was my team, man. 1-1 says Negredo was living in Trump Towers 1 minute and then homeless under a bridge 3 weeks later. He fell from grace fast.
Really?
Yeah, that injury just finished him off, and then he pretty much didn't ever come back. Jan, did you rate Pellegrini's style of play at City? I think every single City squad have had their own sort of. They've all been successful. We won with all of the teams, so it's slightly different. I'd say that I preferred Pellegrini's maybe a little bit more to Mancini's, because even though Mancini was where we started our success, as an Italian manager, he was a lot more defensive. So even though we didn't have the best defense, they weren't really allowed to do too much. Whereas Pellegrini, we were more attacking, I'd say. But they were quite similar. I don't really remember there being a vast difference between one and the other, to be honest. Did I like Maicon? You know what? I did like Maicon, actually. Even though he wasn't great, I did actually like him. He was one. He was one of them, innit? Devante says, I don't care if they've got some story. Robin, make a wish. Do you know what, right? We can walk out together with the trophy, because, listen, this is, how do you know it's not my dream? How do you know I'm not going to drop dead next week? How did they know that? They don't know that.
I can just imagine you, even with if you got the chance to give a trophy to Fernandinho to lift, even with social distancing, you'd probably still run and give him a hug.
Do you know what? When I see football, I'm so shy. I'd probably like not even be able to do it. I'd be like, I'd give it to that little Make-A-Wish kid and say, you go give it to him.
Not even Fernandinho, like you would.
Nah. Wow. I've never seen Fernandinho in person in my life, and I'm quite glad. Do you know what I mean? I remember my mum once was looking for a house, and the house that she was looking for it's on the same road as him. I was like, Mum, we can't live there. Imagine if his ball came over my fence and he came to the door to get it. I'd be like, ah.
Oh my god, that'd be hilarious.
Nah, it's no from me. It's funny. His kids are so cute though, man. His kids look like what me and his kids would look like.
Oh god.
They actually do. Like they actually do. They do.
This is never imagined this conversation. Wow.
One said, worst City player ever. Worst City player? Do you know what? I won't know the worst City player ever because it's probably in my childhood and I won't be able to remember them. I liked a lot of the shit players that no one else rated, or not even shit, but just the ones that no one else rated, like Mpenza. My favourite was Gelson Fernandes, who was not great. So, yeah, there was quite a few that I... do you know who I would say, maybe not the worst player ever, but the player that I really, really, really wanted, and it just completely failed? Jerome
Santa Cruz. Oh, didn't you say Santa Cruz?
I wanted Jerome Boateng so badly after that World Cup. We got him, and then he hardly played. And it was like just an underwhelming career. But yeah, Rocky Santa Cruz wasn't the best. But there's way worse than him. Like, honestly, you'd have to ask my dad. Like, off the top of my head, I can't really think. But there was some Rodwell failed. Sinclair wasn't great. There was quite a few that came and just didn't do much. There's quite a few. And I probably can't even think. Pep will coach that out of Bruno if he believed that Bruno would fit in his system. I agree. Under Pep, he would improve. I agree with that.
His numbers maybe wouldn't be as...
He would never buy Bruno, as in if Bruno was available, he would never look at him. I just mean like as he currently is and the way he currently plays.
Yeah, Pep would hate it. Yeah.
Pep wouldn't like even things like I've seen players before do the wrong thing. Like even him going for goal when there's options, Pep would be screaming. Like honestly, I don't know Pep, but I've sat behind Pep for most of his time at Man City.
I've seen your Twitter profile picture. You're literally, I can't believe you're that close to him.
Do you know what?
You're that close.
I'm like, everyone's going to think that my profile picture is of Pep when it's actually me and Pep. Yeah, it's mad.
I've never been caught on camera at a Liverpool game, though. I've been caught on camera at a cricket game once. I got caught on camera in a cricket game a couple of times.
Do you know what the worst thing is like when you're eating? That's why I don't eat a football. Because imagine
I never eat a football.
I'm on the camera, like, nah.
I never eat in the stadium. I'm always too nervous for the game, so I can never eat.
Do you know what? It's funny though, because sometimes when you get caught on camera, it's like everyone sees you. And I know when everyone sees me because I come out. So Man City, there's no signal. So I come out of the game and I have like 30 notifications. And I'm like, right, if City haven't just got beat, I know I've been on camera. Yeah. So I'm like, I just know. And then all these people message me like, oh my God, I saw you on TV. Like the worst one was, like I said, that penalty shootout against Liverpool.
You know what? I watched the highlights of the penalty shootout and I saw you then. Because I watched the highlights of that game and because I remember you saying it was after a certain penalty. So I saw that penalty and I actually saw you on it.
Yeah. Like everyone messaged me like, I just seen you before Sterling took his penalty. I saw you. I was like, yeah, but I was just smiling, but honestly, I couldn't see anything. The Liverpool team was stood in my face. I didn't see a single penalty. I was looking at the screen. Might as well have been at home. But yeah, it's a bit mad. Alexis, says, don't close the show about some props for Zinchenko. Just keeps on improving. I love Zinchenko, man. Great guy. He was captain tonight and they drew against France. So that says it all. You know what? 1.7 million or whatever he cost. And you know what? Man City tried to sell him and he fought to stay. And boy, has he deserved it. Do you know what I mean? He's been really, really good. He's not a natural left back. He's a midfielder. And he's just killing it, you know? Like people talking about Man City need a left back. I agree long term, because I think it's one of them where we don't want to be swapping Zinchenko out for players that aren't quite good enough. So we need to get a natural left back in there. But yeah, I wouldn't exactly say he loses his place if we do that. I think they just rotate. So that's that. Ravi, sarcasm sitting, Yan City is better than TalkSport, a lot more real. Thank you for that. I hate TalkSport, so that is definitely a compliment. I can't stand it. My dad puts it on after football when we get in the car.
Same with my dad.
Way home,
my
I
dad does as well.
To that fucking crap. And then, you know, if City get beat, they're all like, oh, City is shit. And then my dad's like getting annoyed at what they're saying. I'm like, why do you listen to this crap?
Same with my dad, who puts TalkSport
They're not
on
giving City any credit. They're not giving City any credit. It's like, why would they give City credit? They hate Man City. Why are you listening to this shit?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Jan, what are your thoughts on Micah Richards? I like Micah Richards. Bless him. I think
he's
the only thing
I like him.
The only thing that I'd say is he sits on the fence when it comes to racism. When they question him, he sits on the fence, and it's like, you can't sit on the fence. You really can't. You've got to kind of.
I haven't really heard his views on racism, actually.
He kind of like, they'll ask him something, and he's a bit like, he doesn't say what he's supposed to say, put it that way, and it's a bit like, Micah, because it just makes everyone sort of think a certain way. And I know they're on TV, and I know they're with their colleagues that they like and stuff like that, but it's like sometimes you've just got to stand up and say, actually, that was wrong. Yeah. Didn't agree with that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because yes, they might look at you funny, but after a bit, they'll know that you're not someone to be fucked with, and they know that you're going to say the right thing, and you just got to make yourself that person, because they like these yes people that, like, when they say something, it's like, oh, it didn't really mean it like that. No, maybe they did mean it. You know, who knows? Like, you don't know that. So just say that sounded racist to me. However, you know, there might be a chance that they didn't mean it. Don't say, oh no, they didn't mean it. You don't know that. So that's the only thing that I'd say. But everything else, Micah Richards is great. Do you know it's Ireland, like the country, not Ireland as in Ireland.
It's not.
And it's not Stephen spelled like that either. It's PH. But yeah, anyway, he just got sold too quick. Yeah, I think when the Arabs came in and we kind of refreshed our squad, he kind of left after that. Jan, did you think David Platt was effective in his role at City? Do you know what? He wasn't the worst person at the time, like, but yeah, I don't know. I think after he left, we realised that, you know, there was better there was better options left there. But I didn't mind him when he was at City, to be fair. Papi Rico, which City player do you think needs replacing, if any? I wouldn't say. I think we need to replace Aguero with Haaland, but I don't think we will. You know, we've replaced now. Took a while. Yeah, but that's our striker, in it. So I think, we'll probably maybe need another striker as well, maybe. But I think I'd settle for Haaland. And then play a false nine if Haaland's not available. That's what I would personally do. Like I say, we could do with, I think Mendy will leave at some point, replace Mendy.
Yeah.
I think we need a Fernandinho replacement. I know we've got Rodri, but we've only got Rodri. So it means if Rodri gets injured with no Fernandinho, we will be stuck in that position. The only people that I know that are coming through in that exact position is Claudio Gomez, who is tiny. He's like a little baby. He's like Fred. So I think he's a bit too small. I think we need someone a bit bigger for now anyway. So, yeah, I'd say maybe a defensive midfielder. I'm not too sure. For Bonnie was a race to money, as was Scott Sinclair. Scott Sinclair, definitely. Bonnie was the top scorer. We bought him. I thought when we got him, perfect, we got a plan B. Because we only had a plan A. And I thought, great, we got a plan B.
Yeah.
And then I bought him and never had a plan B. So he was a waste of time, didn't fit in our system. We never adapted to his style of football to get him in the game. I thought what was going to happen is there games where we're struggling to score, we can't walk it into the net, you take off Aguero, you put Bonnie on, one ball over the top, and he'll score. But no, we never did that. So, yeah, I think Bonnie was a waste of money based on that. His spellings are making me laugh. Van Gaal won a trophy, but we finished 5th, so we sacked him. Do you know what? I think the biggest mistake that Man United have made in recent times is sacking Van Gaal. That's my personal opinion. Thought he was one of the best they've had.
I always think Van Gaal's the best one they've had.
Yeah.
Van Gaal's the best one they've had post Fergie in terms of the problem. He had a style, and it might have been boring at times, but you could see what he was trying to do. He just at times didn't have the players. Like he had like Schneiderlin and these guys in midfield.
That the other managers have had. I think he's doing bits for Man United right now. They're definitely competing with us for trophies. Definitely.
I think if you have this squad now, I think they do bits with.
I think I think they should 100%. Sack off Ollie and get him back, because then at least you don't have to have that whole settling back into the squad. He knows some of the players. I'd try and get him back, me personally. I think definitely sacking him. Jan, when Fernandinho leaves, what central defensive midfielder would you like to replace him? I'm not really sure. There's a few in the league that are decent, but I don't think we'll buy one from the Prem. I think it'll be someone foreign. So I don't really know who the best defensive midfielders are in the world.
Van Gaal.
What'd you say? I think it's frozen a bit. Ravi says, Yang, you should have asked Pep if you wanted a drink. I've not seen Pep. Outside of the game, I've not seen Pep. Obviously, he sits on the row. So I sit on the same... I used to. I don't sit there anymore, actually. But I used to for quite a long time. I used to sit in line with the second line of the bench. So if I look down the line, I can see like Aguero, or usually the best players sat on the second row. So they used to sit on my row. Morning, lads. I'm not a lad, but thanks. A great show. I don't look that much like a boy, do I? Jeez. One says, camera always catches you when you don't want to be seen. Ask the Duns in jail. Yeah, no. I know. I answered that slightly earlier. I don't watch Atalanta. The only time I've seen them is when they play Man City, or I think I might have watched them play a few other games, but it's limited.
Well, they played against us earlier in the season. I don't really remember who he was, to be honest.
Yeah. Ravi said, do you think Zabaleta was effective in the positions he was playing at the time? Yeah, he's one of the best right backs in this past 10 years, man. He's been really, really good. Man like MB, Jan, it's like he feels if he speaks his piece, Sky will blackball him or look at him different. I agree with that. I think he's scared of being kicked off the show, so he won't quite say what he wants to say. That being said, it doesn't come across well to ethnic minorities who watch it and they're waiting for him to back them, and he doesn't do it. So I think it's a little bit hard. I get it. I do get it. Like, I've grown up in a white area where, sometimes it's like you sort of say that's racist and everyone just laughs at you. And it's like, but it's racist though. And then everyone just laughs and then you feel awkward. So some people would be like, it's not racist. Whereas I used to be like, that's fucking racist, blah, blah, blah. Everyone thought I was a bitch. And now I don't speak to any of them people. But it is what it is. Man like MB, Jan, how good can Ferran Torres be potential-wise? You know what? He came in. He kind of, when he first came in, it was like Jota. Where they come in and straight away they're scoring goals and they're helping the team. And especially in the Champions League, he was on something else. But I think he's kind of quieting down a little bit. He did get COVID and then he came back and he's been sort of in and out. But he looks like a cracking player. I think when we sold Sane, everyone was like, why have we got rid of Sane? You know, we're not going to find anyone like him. And we actually got Ferran Torres, and he was very cheap, only cost 20 mil, 21 mil, something like that. And he's come in, he looks good. And, you know, potential-wise...
Nowhere near Leroy Sane, though. I can't see him using Leroy Sane.
But that was our replacement. And he came in, and he looked good. I don't think, obviously, he's not going to be at Leroy Sane's level, but he does look good for us. So we'll have to see what happens. Early days. Ravi says, I think Alex Scott should be on Sky Sports a bit more. She's got good opinions on the game. She's my favourite pundit. Overall.
I like her.
She's definitely my favourite. She knows what she's talking about. She's attractive to look at. She's been there, done that. She's won everything. So, you know, it's one of them things they talk about. You've got men there who have never won a trophy commentating, and then you've got her, and then people are saying she doesn't know what she's talking about. Well, actually, she does. She's been there, done that, won everything. So she does know what she's talking about. And, you know, if her opinions weren't great, I'd be the first one to say, yeah, she don't know what she's talking about, but she does. Every time I see her, she's good. She only speaks facts. Neon says, bye, Kimmich. I don't know. Pep obviously was the one that gave him his first chance, I think. Yeah. Because he was young when Pep was there. So I don't think Pep would buy him. I don't think they'd sell him. But yeah, it'd be good. I agree with this, Alexis. I can see us buying back. I completely forgot about him. That is the guy that I actually said that we should get. We should definitely try and get him back. Jeremy said Scott Sinclair was a Jack Roswell move. Bought to tick the boxes about. Yeah, that's the thing. This homegrown players thing has teams buying some of the randomest players. I have to say, Jack Radwell. 1 minute. Jan, do you rate the ex-Arsenal players that came to City? Nasri was very good for us. I know he didn't last long. Adebayo, one of my favourite players at Arsenal. Then he came to City, so I was like, great. I loved him at City, to be fair. The only time I didn't really like him is when he went to Tottenham, and then we were paying his wages, and he was playing for bloody Madrid. And I was like, what? So, yeah, it was a bit mad. But, yeah, I did love Adebayo. I always remember that game where Arsenal came to Man City.
And he ran the length of the pitch.
No, not even that. That's when he played for us. When he was playing for Arsenal, he mashed us up differently. I think we got beat 3-1, and it was the Adebayo show. And I was just sat there watching him like, I want this player. And then a few months later, or a year or two later, Man City bought him. And I was like, yes, this is my guy. I loved Adebayo. Sanya was decent, I'd say. Clichy was very inconsistent. He was decent for us, but he was inconsistent. So he'd have one good game and then 3 poor games and then 2 good games and then 1 poor game. And then you just didn't know what you were going to get, you know, with him. So...
What about Colo Torre?
Colo was all right for us as well, to be honest. I think it was so good that him and Yaya were there at the same time. Like that Yaya Colo song is just going to go down in history. That was a track. But yeah, I think it's one of them. Van Gaal should have stayed, but the board didn't back him one bit. We had Tyler Blackett in both with Jackson and finished 4th.
And won an FA Cup.
Exactly. I think they would. They should have backed him, but I think if he did come back, they would back him because they know they have to. Jazz said you should bring that Van Gaal point up on Agenda FC because that sounds wild to me, and I'd like to see what Flawless and Lewis think about it. I think I've mentioned it before. I thought he was one of the best ones that you've had since Fergie left. Because if you think about
I think he's the best one they've had. So
yeah, because you got David Moyes, who I think wasn't up to the job. If we're being honest, then
Mourinho was toxic.
Mourinho is just toxic now. His style of play is a bit outdated, and he's not willing to change it. Like Pep looked at the league, said that he was going to play with his style, was very stubborn in the beginning, didn't work. He continued with it. It did work. We got that fantastic season, and then last season, obviously. I know things were a little bit different with us last season, but he could see that it was starting to sort of not work too much. So he's become more pragmatic and he's changed his style. And Man City look a lot stronger now as a team, not individually going forward in the midfield, defense. As a team, we look better. And, I just don't know whether Jose Mourinho is willing to sort of change the way he plays. He's tried it a few times this season, but it just, I think he's doing it so he can prove to the fans, like, look, see, this is why I don't do it, rather than actually wanting to play like that. And
I think Ollie's the worst one out of all of them.
Yeah, Ollie's not good enough, if we're being honest. Ravi said, what's your best and worst kits, guys, for Liverpool and City? So I'll start with you.
The worst kit I've ever seen us have was that orange kit, away kit we had in 2017-18. That was, I despised that kit. It was horrible. To be fair, all our away kits, the away kits Liverpool make now are horrendous. And they have been for quite a few years. I never buy the away kits anymore. I just buy the home shirts now. Literally, the last time I brought an away kit must have been about 2013. That's the last away kit I probably brought.
Yeah, Man City, the best kit. I like black and gold. So when we had that black and gold kit, I quite like that one. I like the away kit this season because I have Fernandinho on the back and it's like pink and glittery. So it's really, really nice. So I really like this season's away kit. I don't like the home kit this season. Normally it grows on me. It's not really grown on me. Maybe if we win the quad, it'll grow on me. But right now, not really. The last season's the third kits are always a bit dodgy. This season, the Paisley one, I thought I hate it. But actually seeing it on the players, it's not that bad. The lemonade drink last season where it was like pink and yellow, that was a bit awful, the third kit. We've had some horrible kits. Under Nike, they're just boring. There was just no...
I don't like that.
It's boring.
In terms of the Liverpool home kit, normally I have no problem with it, but I don't like the green kind of like colour they've done on them, on Liverpool's home kits this season.
Do you know what? One of my favourite kits was for Man City, though. When I was younger, that First Advice one in 2003-4, I think it was, or 2-3. That season with the stripes. It's not stripes. It was like blue, but there was stripes on it, and it was shimmery to plain. That one was a nice kit. I lived in that when I was a kid, and I'd say one of the best kits that we've had is the black and red away kit that we had when we won the league in 2012. We announced it that season, and that one was beautiful. And I remember Dzeko scored 4 goals. Well, it was 4-1 against Tottenham away. It's the same day that Arsenal got beat 8-2 by Man United. And I just remember that.
I remember that.
Yeah, that kit was nice, that away kit. And you know what? I hope Man City either go for black and gold next season or red and black stripes, because I think that they're the nicest kits that we have in terms of away. And then the home kit is always blue. I like when it's blue and white. I don't like when it's blue with blue, like we had in that 13-14 or whatever, whenever it was. Didn't like that too much. But yeah, we've had some good, some bad. Don't really know. Pappy says, your ambitions for your channel, for yourself within football, Pep's replacement, what you're saying. Now I want to be Pep's right-hand woman. Me and Pep on the touchline. I can see what he can't. He can see what I can't. Great. I think we make a dream team. But yeah, in terms of this, I just do this because I really enjoy it. But obviously, if I can do this instead of working 50 hours a week or 60 hours a week, then yeah, I would rather do this because I actually think it's fun. Nasri at City was better than Nasri at Arsenal. I thought he was decent at Arsenal, but
he was class at Arsenal.
Yeah, he scored some good goals for City. I remember in derbies and stuff like that. He turned up for big games, man. He definitely turned up for big games. Can't lie, I wanted to wring Adebayo's neck when he ran the length of the pitch. You know what?
Apparently, he was getting like racist abuse of Arsenal fans as well.
Yeah, they were throwing the hands on the pitch. They were throwing like them little stools that like the ball boy sits on. They were throwing them. Like I was sat at the other side of the pitch because I used to sit on the complete opposite side. So all I saw was him run. Obviously, he scored in our net, and then he ran all the way back down there. And then I seen him just knee sliding. The Arsenal fans were like, it's mad. But it is annoying. Like Rashford celebrated in my face last season. So yeah, it's one of them. It's not great, if we're being honest. Man gas Ollie up like he's the second coming of Fergie. It's funny. Fans still live off that. Solskjaer has won it.
If he had scored, flicked out his leg in 99, there's no way he would have gotten this job.
Yeah. Do you know what's mad though? It's kind of like, say Aguero turns around and wants to become a manager in years. Like, I feel like I would struggle to be like Aguero out. So I get what the older fans are talking about, because I feel like I wouldn't be able to be like, yeah, get Aguero out of my club. He's ruining Man City. I feel like I'd be like, just leave him 10 years. So
it's like with the Gerrard thing. It's like what I said about the Gerrard thing. Like, I couldn't give a shit if, like, I don't want Gerrard anywhere near the club, innit? Like, but if he became manager, obviously I'd want him to do well. I'd want any Liverpool manager to do well because it means us doing well. But
yeah,
if Gerrard came and I saw like he wasn't the right man, I'd be the first to say Gerrard. I'm not gonna lie, innit? Like, I don't want him anywhere near the job. I don't want any former player near the job. Not because I care about like their legendary status and all that getting revoked, because I don't care really, but like it's the fact that I don't think a manager should be appointed just based on past affinity to the club. I think they should just be appointed based on how good a manager they actually are. I just don't want to become Sentiment FC and do what United and Chelsea have done with Lampard and Ollie.
Yeah.
So yeah. But I admit Gerrard will be manager one day, and the day it happens, I'm giving away my season ticket. So
watch him do the quad.
He ain't doing no quad.
Happy said, if you could sign one player in the summer, who would you sign?
Is that like realistic? Because my dream would be like Mbappe, but I don't think it's realistic. So I'd probably say Grealish. Even that's probably not realistic, but it's more realistic than Mbappe. So I'd probably say Grealish, to be honest.
I'd say Haaland. I want Haaland.
Yeah, I knew that. Yeah.
But that's not realistic either, if we're being honest. So realistic wise, Danny Ings. No, I'm joking.
Are you serious?
That is realistic.
I texted you on Monday. I remember messaging you on Monday when I heard the Danny Ings thing, just trying to take the piss. And I knew you'd be angry seeing that.
Ravi, I don't know who Ryan LFC is, to be honest. But you know what? No one in Jamaica knows where you get it from as well. I even messaged Umbro, and they said, sorry, we don't start that here. We don't know where you can get it. So, yeah, I think it's one of them. It's like exclusive to that team. So it's probably like, if anyone knows any players that play for Jamaica, innit, tell them to get me one, because I don't know any of them. Arsenal fans got their manager saying he's going to win them the Champions League in 3 years. A couple months later, they're ninth and still can't get in the Champions League. You know what? Stranger things have happened.
They're not winning the Champions League.
I don't think Flick, maybe he would decide that he wants to join the Prem.
Yeah, I think one day you can see him.
If he came, he'd be under the same pressure as Pep. Once you win that sextuplet, like, you're expected to win the Champions League all the time. If you don't win it, you're a failure. You can't win it without Bayern Munich. He'll be on the same stuff as Pep. So for his sake, I wouldn't join Man City. But I would take him. Obviously, he's been a great manager for Bayern Munich. Pappy says, okay, well, you are brilliant at this, so it will go where you want it to. I love that. I love that. I honestly think you can do whatever you want to in football. Thanks. I don't think I'm going to be playing up front with Aguero, but, you know, I get your point.
She won't be getting those passes through for Fernandinho.
I'm not surprised. Yeah, no. I'd be missing it. I'm shit at football. I'm like, you know, I'm terrible.
I was the coldest one-on-one finisher when I used to play.
Yeah, I'm not good at football. Like, honestly, I'd be like, if I was a footballer, I'd be like Adama Traore, 0 goals, 0.
Oh no, you can't be that bad.
What, actually, I don't think I'd be that bad. I feel like I'd get an assist at least. Come on now. Like, I might do some little Bruno 5-yard pass, and someone does some crazy shit and puts it in the top corner, and then I could be like, I got an assist. Like, yeah, one of them. I'm not surprised. I've seen parts of that interview actually. How do you feel about our Champions League chances, Jan? I don't trust Man City in the Champions League. I would love to sit here and be like, yeah, Man City, we're good enough. We've got a good defense. We've got a good attack. We've got a great midfield. Nah, I don't trust us. Like, Man City need to prove me wrong.
I think you're right. I actually think
yeah, you're just trying to jinx my club. It's all right. I get your game.
Nah, actually, well, you're trying to jinx my club. Literally, I saw you on the Q&A the other day when I think you were asked about your prediction for Arsenal-Liverpool, and you were like, yeah, I think Liverpool will win. But then I could see you started laughing because you knew what I was about to say. Like, you said that on purpose. Like, I was like, you're a proper jinx.
Wow, I genuinely think that Liverpool will win.
Yeah, I think we'll win that game, but I'm not sure now because you said you think we'll win. And whenever you say you think Liverpool will win, we lose, innit?
It's one of them, innit? I don't know. It's one of them. It's like, it could go either way. No, I'm joking. I think you'll win it, but it could go either way, to be fair, if we're being honest. I'm a don at football. Everyone says that they are, but I actually am. You know what? I'm sure that Adama Traore would say that he was good at football as well, but the evidence.
You really dislike Adama Traore. I think he's crap, but the way you speak about him is hilarious.
Do you know what? I'll rate him if he scores against Man United, a winner or something like that, but he ain't going to do that because he's shit, Do you know what? Like, I think that Lyon game was always going to be a bit of a risk because it was a one leg. I thought over one leg, Man City might do better because the pressure's not on. We're not going to start playing for a draw. We're not going to start like doing any stupidness like that. Do you know what I mean? But it ended up being worse because we went for it. And to be honest, we were the better team. Like, I didn't go into that. I didn't come out of that game thinking Man City got like slammed by Lyon.
No, you didn't get battered. I think Lyon kind of like
take our chances. They took theirs, and that was the end of it. But
I didn't think City were that good, but you didn't get like outplayed or anything.
No. I think they were good. I think
obviously you had like one of the misses of the century from Sterling. Like, oh my god. I can't believe that.
This is what I say. I don't trust Man City, man. I'm hoping that they prove me wrong. I'm hoping, I might be £200 down at the end of the season, but at least I can say.
You know what mine of Flawless's dream is, right? But in like the Champions League final, if City do get knocked out of the Champions League, it's Gabby that misses that sort of Sterling sitter. You do know that if that happens, me and Flawless will be all over that.
And I'll be like, logged off. Do you know what? Like, the thing is, that wouldn't surprise me. That being said, he's all right in the Champions League more so.
But like you said, if City do win the quad, at least me and Flawless get £100 each.
Yeah, that's fine by me. I'll happily lose up £200 if that's what's happened. Like, I'll be smiling, giving you the £100 while I'm smiling. One of them. What do you think of Mikel Antonio deciding to play for Jamaica? You know what? I think he should have done it earlier, if I'm being honest. I don't think he was ever going to get into the England squad. Fair play to him for thinking like, oh, I'll wait to see what happens. But I think in 2016 when Jamaica went for him, or maybe not even 2016, maybe 2018, he should have probably gone. Because you can tell when you get to a certain age that you're not really going to make it in the England squad. Look at all the attackers they have. Like, he should have just gone for Jamaica.
Do you rate Mikel Antonio?
I think he's all right. He's all right. He's decent. I just think a lot of these players, like, they're not going to get in the England squad over, like, Harry Kane. So there's no point. There's literally no.
He's one of those that I think he's just like a pure pace and power merchant. But like, he's like a proper nightmare for defenders. Like that's the thing. Like, he's not my kind of player because I just think he's a pure pace and power merchant with not a lot of footballing ability. But he's just a nightmare to deal with.
He'll be all right in
But
Jamaica.
at least he's probably better than Adama still.
Yeah, everyone's better than Adama. I'm better than Adama Traore. Bloody hell.
I'm not sure about Salah.
But yeah, like I think, I want to see Jamaica have a good team. I want to see us do well. I want to see us in the World Cup. I want to see us be competitive. So yeah, whoever wants to join is great. I know Jamaica have signed quite a few players at the moment. That's why I want their tracksuit. I don't think that is the right tracksuit. It's black. It's got Umbro on it. It's just got the Jamaica crest on one side and a little Umbro label, and then the pants are the same, not in big. The like thing is like the Umbro thing is like this big, and then the Jamaica thing is like this big. It ain't that big. I don't want none of that big kind of crap. Like you'll see it on Instagram if you go on JFF. You'll see what I want. It's not. I can't find it anywhere. Neepan says, provided you get past Dortmund and Munich, get past PSG, that semi-final is tailor-made for Pep not to overthink it. You know what? He has said that he's not going to overthink it. So we've just got to hope and pray that he doesn't. That being said, I think it just depends who we meet in the final, because I think if we meet Liverpool, that squad have been there, done that. The pressure is all on Man City. They don't need to win it.
I just feel like if we were... I think what would help is that if we did get... I don't think we will. I don't think we got a chance of getting Champions League final. But if we did, I think what would help is that if we've got fourth place in the league without... I think... And we've already got Champions League football for next season anyway... then I think there's a lot less pressure on us to win that Champions League final than there would be for you. And that's kind of why I'd be quite confident of winning it, to be honest. Whereas if we, let's say, finished fifth in the league and played you in a Champions League final, I think there would be as much pressure on us because if we lose, we're in Europa League next season. So yeah, that's why I think top four is so important. That's the thing. And I do think if we were to finish fourth and play you in a Champions League final this season, I would. I'm not going to say I'd fancy our chances, and I'm not going to say I'd be confident, but I think it would be pure 50-50 game. Like I'd give us a realistic chance of winning the final.
I think. Do you know what?
I think Pep goes into it more nervous than Klopp.
Yeah,
and I think Pep goes into it more.
Both. Like it's kind of like Chelsea as well. Like yes, Chelsea have won it before and stuff like that. But I think our squad is better than Chelsea. But then it's like we haven't won it before. Their club have.
But I think the difference with Liverpool.
You know what I mean? So there's a lot of things that go. Like I think I agree with what I think you were going to say about Liverpool's players have won it before. That's the difference. So I think Liverpool are favourites in a final against Man City. I don't care who the defenders are. I think just based on what's happened in the past, I think they are favourites. Yeah, that chance was just ridiculous. Antonio's a decent player. Fair play to him for choosing what feels right for him. Yeah, I think it's the right decision. Remember the time Arsenal fans started singing "We're fucking shit" after they got hammered by Liverpool? It's always fun to sing that when you get beat, for being honest. Gabby did score big goals for us before, Yeah, he always does, especially in Champions League. He scored the 100 points goal as well. That's why I don't really like when people say he's overrated or like he's shit, because it's like he's not the best, but he's definitely not shit. Shit players don't turn up in key moments like that. Neepan says that Spurs game was just unlucky. You know what? We've been so unlucky in the Champions League. We're due a bit of luck. So maybe we'll get lucky this year. Maybe we won't, but we are due a bit of luck. That's why I could. We score an offside goal in the final and rob the living daylights out of the person we're playing. I could not care less, because when we're getting robbed, no one gave a shit, and it was City a shit and the bottlers. So yeah, I don't care. We're due a bit of luck, and if that means that we rob someone else on our way to get there, then so be it, because it's about time.
I was saying because my internet went off that if you were to play Liverpool or Chelsea in the final, obviously there's a lot of different ways of looking at it. I think Chelsea are a better team than us at the moment, 100%.
Yeah.
They're a much better team than us at the moment with better players, and I know Chelsea have won it before as a club, but I've been saying this: our players and manager, however bad we might be this season, have got recent experience of getting back-to-back finals and winning one. And even though it was against Tottenham and Tottenham was shit and we weren't that great in the final, it's still winning a Champions League final and recent experience of winning a Champions League final. Like, that experience is invaluable.
Yeah.
So,
But that's why I said if we got to the final against you, you're favourites for that. Because even though on paper, Man City it's winning it before. It's like the Premier League, or the Carabao Cup. I know obviously we're playing Tottenham, but we are the favourites for that because we've won it the last 3 years. That being said, I think that game is going to be a tough one because they need to win that. That's their season. Their season's done. They need to win that cup. Whereas Man City, I think their eyes are going to be on other things. I don't think they're going to be focused on that too tough. But again, it 100% depends what happens that week. Because if we go out to Dortmund and we go out to Chelsea, that might be our only other thing to play for. Because that final is after Dortmund and it's after the Chelsea semi-final. So I was saying to a Chelsea fan, we're more likely to win against Chelsea if we go out of the Champions League because then they'll think, shit, we've got the cups to play for. So they'll go full it. Whereas if we get through past Dortmund, I think the players' heads are still in the Champions League. You know what I mean? So I think depending on what happens leading up to that final will depend on whether we go for it or whether we don't. I think if we go out of the Champions League, it can go two ways. It's either we go for the cups because that's all we've got left, or we bottle everything because we go on a meltdown after going out of the Champions League. So I really don't know.
I don't think City go on a meltdown. I mean, that could have happened a couple of years ago when you went out of the Champions League to Tottenham. And bear in mind, you were in a title race at that time as well with us. And the fact that you went and won the domestic treble, I can't see the City team melting down if you were to go out of the Champions League.
Yeah, true.
I mean, I think if City, I think City will win. I think you got the Prem in the bag, but I think you'll win at least one of the other cups. Like you'll win more than one trophy.
I would expect.
I think
at least two.
It would feel underwhelming for City. I think obviously you're going to win the league, so it's a successful season regardless. But I think it would feel a bit underwhelming and a bit disappointing if you were to only win the league this season, considering the position you're in at the moment. And it was similar to us last season in terms of we had the league wrapped up by December or January. Yeah. And obviously we were still in the FA Cup and Champions League, and people were really rating our chances of maybe winning the treble. We'd already won the Club World Cup as well. But obviously, and it did feel at that time that if we were to only win the Premier League, we won the Prem, great. But considering how early we'd won it and the fact we were in the FA Cup and Champions League, it would feel underwhelming and disappointing to not win anything else. So, that's why.
I get that. At the start of the season, if you said to me, would you take just the league? I would have probably said As long as you get further in the Champions League, I would take just the league. The FA Cup is not something that we've won that often. We've only won the FA Cup twice in recent years. So it's not something that we're very good at winning. The Carabao Cup, on the other hand, is something that we've obviously won the last 3 years in a row. I don't think the players are going to be bending over backwards to win that, if I'm being honest. No. I think they've just been there, done that, 3 years on the trot. Do they want a fourth? Maybe. Who knows? I think it will just depend on what's riding on that game, because if we get past Dortmund, the semi-final is a few days after that cup final against Tottenham. So I think if we do get past Dortmund, then players are going to have their heads are going to be in Munich or in Paris, depending on who we draw, if that's the case. So I think that final, I wouldn't actually be surprised if Man City don't win that, to be honest. The Chelsea semi-final, our record against Chelsea in semi-finals is pretty decent, but obviously they are better defensively now. So, yeah, I think that game is a tricky one. It could go either way, definitely. So, yeah, I think it's just going to depend. At the start of the season, like I say, I would have taken just the league. If you offered me just the league, I would have said, yeah. But now, like you say, because we're in so many competitions so late, we're literally 1 game away from the Carabao Cup. We're 2 games away, potentially, from the FA Cup. So I think when you get to them sort of points, you should be winning at least one of the 2. So, yeah, I would expect City to try and win one of them 2. But I would take a double. You know, I would take that. As long as we progress further in the Champions League. I think if we don't go past the quarters in the Champions League, the whole season will be seen as City didn't do anything better than they did last season. Do you know what I mean? I know we won the league. Obviously, the league will be better, but in terms of the past couple of years, they'd be saying Man City have won that in the past couple of years. They did a domestic treble. Why didn't they get further in the Champions League? So I think the Champions League needs to be something that we go all for. And, you know, if we get to maybe a final of the Champions League, even if we don't win it, I think if we get to a final and we win the league, that will be seen as progression for Man City.
Definitely, 100%. Yeah. I think City...
just got to see it like that, I think.
I think City getting past the quarter-final would be a big thing because obviously you haven't done that under Pep yet. So that you finally get that burden off your back. Even if you were to go out in the semis, it's finally, you can finally get past the quarters. It doesn't feel like a burden or curse anymore, you know.
And I think if we go out to Bayern Munich or PSG, like,
there's no shame in that.
It's not gonna look as bad as going out to the.
Would there be a bit of shame going out to Dortmund? Yeah, because I think you're much better than Dortmund. But there's no shame in going out to
be like a Lyon or like a Liverpool, sort of where you expected to. Well, Liverpool's a bit different, but you expected to kind of win it, and then you go out and it's like, okay, you went out. But I think it's one of them. I think Tottenham was the most embarrassing because we should have never gone out to Tottenham.
You hate Tottenham anyway.
Yeah,
that was
no way. Even Monaco were having the season of their life. So as much as we went out to them, that season was unreal for Monaco. But yeah, I just think Tottenham, there's just no way we should have been going out to them. No way.
Can I ask also, are you more scared in terms of winning the league next season? Are you more scared of Liverpool or Chelsea challenging you? Because I think people are saying that they're the teams who. I don't think we're going to challenge you personally because I think there's still a lot of this team needs to be changed now for Liverpool. But a lot of people are still putting Liverpool in the conversation for challenging for the league next season. So which team are you more scared of out of those two? Because Chelsea look like they're really going to challenge next year,
I think Chelsea. Their players that they've bought are going to come good. They've got Tuchel, whatever you call him. They've got him. He looks good. I think they have a very strong chance of doing a double this season in the Champions League and the FA Cup. That's well on for them. Hopefully not. I don't want them to do that because I'd argue that their season's better than ours if they do that. And, you know, it's not great for Man City. So, yeah, hopefully not. But that is well on for Chelsea, if we're being honest. I think if they do that, they go and wrap up the league next year. The confidence that they would have from doing that.
I think one way I could see us winning the league next year is if we were to beat Man City in a Champions League final this season.
Yeah,
I think that could damage Man City a bit. And I think but then I still feel like if we were to win the Champions League, I don't think this team is good enough to win a title. But then I feel like the momentum boost it can give this team winning a Champions League again and beating Man City in a final and the damage that because I think if Liverpool were to beat Man City in a Champions League final, it could damage Man City players and Pep's confidence because I honestly feel like Man City their players and manager would rather lose to Chelsea than they would to Liverpool in a Champions League final.
Yeah.
I think Pep I think it would really hurt.
Yeah.
It would hurt the players and manager if you were to lose to us in a Champions League final, like.
Yeah.
And that's one way where I could see maybe I'd give us a good chance for next season for the league, but I can't see us winning the league or Champions League this season, to be honest. So.
Do you know what? You never know. I think the Champions League's kind of up in the air now. I don't think anyone would bet against someone. I don't think anyone would ever put a lot of money. Maybe Dortmund, maybe Real Madrid. Actually, you wouldn't do it against Real Madrid. Maybe Porto, maybe. You'd put some money on it. But I don't think anyone else left in the competition, I don't think you'd be betting money that they don't get to the final or that they don't win it. I think because as much as Man City have had their issues in Europe, I still think it is possible for us to do it. I don't think we will do it. But if we did do it, it wouldn't be a shock. It wouldn't be like, oh my God, I can't believe Man City won that. We're not underdogs in that way. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. I think we'll have to see. Ravi, I did message Umbro and they said they don't know where I can get it from. Man Like MB says, Jan, did you rate Alano? I absolutely loved Alano.
No.
His free kicks, his corners. He would score from a corner, guys. He would score from a corner. Have you even seen Man City score from a corner? The whole team, like, it does not happen. Oh, my God. He was just unreal. I loved him. I think he came at the wrong time. I think the team around him weren't good enough. If you put him in the squad that we have now, fun and games. Big up to
this is a good point, actually.
Yeah.
Would it be, if you were to go out to Bayern Munich, how would it hurt if Leroy Sané scored the winning goal?
Yes. Yeah.
Obviously, it would hurt, but that would be the worst kind of.
Do you know what? Do you know why I'd be
Sané
because we didn't want Leroy Sané to go. I think if it's a player that you don't rate and they leave, and you're like, they're not good enough, and then they go and score against you, it's like, okay, I got that wrong. But it's like with Leroy Sané, we really wanted him to stay. So for him to kind of knock us out of competition after we've wanted him to stay, and he was like, no. It's worse. It's a little bit worse. I think it's unreal.
Yeah.
Jan, why does Sterling receive so much hate? Do you know what I think it is? I think it's because his finishing is not the best, but actually his stats are not even that bad. I think it's just more obvious when he misses than certain other players. In terms of people disliking him, I think the media played a big part in that because a lot of people say they dislike Pogba and they dislike Sterling. And there's nothing that Sterling or Pogba have done that makes me think, oh, yeah, that's why they hate him. That's why they don't like him. And it's kind of like the media have pushed this negative agenda about these two players. And I think people subconsciously have picked up onto it. Because if you ask people why they hate Sterling, I can guarantee the reasons that they give you are not really sufficient. And if they are giving you a reason like, oh, Sterling misses a lot of chances, if you actually look at stats and find players that have missed more chances than Sterling, I can guarantee they'll be like, well, I just don't like him. And there won't be an actual reason behind it that makes any sense. I think Sterling hasn't had a good season. He's been okay at best. Sometimes a little bit great, sometimes not so great. But yeah, he's not having his usual season. And yeah, I think people get on his back when he doesn't perform. I feel like everyone can get it nowadays, especially with social media, if we're being honest. But some of our players are kind of, people bend over backwards to protect them. And others, the minute they make a mistake, it's like, oh, well, they deserve it because they weren't good. And it happens at every club, but Sterling's a little bit of a scapegoat for City fans. Do you think Gabby overthinks and puts too much pressure on himself in front of goal? Do you know what? I just don't think he's a natural striker. He doesn't always shoot when he's in the box. I think he does overthink it. I think he thinks, shit, I need to score this, and then just overthinks it. But yeah, he's not clinical enough. Bless his little cotton socks. But he's not clinical enough. Neepan says, unpopular opinion, but I don't think the Carabao Cup is a Mickey Mouse trophy.
I don't think you could call any of the 4 trophies a Mickey Mouse trophy.
I think, you know what? It's one of them. It's like, if your team win it, you love it. If your team don't win it, it's shit. That's just the way football fans are. For me personally, I like the Carabao Cup. My reasons for liking the Carabao Cup is because you can normally win it in February. And I like the fact that I can go to Wembley in a February or early March, watch my team lift a trophy, knowing that we're normally in the other competitions. So you're thinking there's 3 other competitions that we could potentially win. Usually the league is kind of setting up to be what it's going to be, or the title race is kind of getting set up. So you kind of know what to expect for the rest of the season. And it's just nice to win a trophy. Like
I think the I think the Carabao Cup is a really, really good trophy to win when you're in a title race, because obviously it could, obviously maybe not this year because it's in April, but normally it's in February. So because it's in February, if you're in a title race and you win even though it's the less prestigious trophy out of the 4 you can win. The fact you win it in February, it creates that winning mentality in your mind already, that we've got a trophy in the bag already. So knowing you've got a trophy in the bag going into a title running for the rest of the season is such a good advantage. And I think that's not given City a big advantage in the 2 title races they've had with us, where they've edged us out in 2014 and 2019. They've won the Carabao Cup in both those seasons. So, and I think that gave them a big advantage.
For sure. This is why I'd say the FA Cup is the bigger trophy out of the 2. The FA Cup is no doubt the bigger trophy. I think there's more teams in it. There's, you know what I mean? It's 800 teams or something like that in the FA Cup. So it's kind of mad if you are the final 2 or the final 4. It's kind of mad. But in terms of the FA Cup is after the season has ended. So it's one of them where, if, say, for example, Man United got to the FA Cup final this season, if Man City have just won the like, I don't know, I think the Champions League's the last thing. I think it's after the FA Cup, isn't it?
After the FA Cup,
so it's one of them things. Say, for example, Man City win the league and then Man United go and win the FA Cup. It's after the season's already ended. So it's like, well, Man City are already champions. You know what I mean? It's one of them things, and I like the FA Cup. I like winning it. But it's one of them things where it's kind of like, I'd want to win it as well as the league, not instead of the league, if you know what I mean.
It's a side piece, isn't it? It should be a side piece.
Yeah, it's one of them that when you wrap up the league, you hope that you're in the FA Cup final to finish it off. Do you know what I mean? That's what you hope for. But it does give some teams a chance of winning a trophy. Like Leicester have a very, very good chance of winning it this season. Southampton have a decent chance. You know what I mean? If they can get past Leicester, who knows, in a final. Do you know what I mean? 90 minutes of football, anything can happen. So these sides have a genuine chance of winning a trophy. And, it was our first trophy that we won in my lifetime. So I love the FA Cup. I do. The Carabao Cup, for me, I just like the fact that you win it early. You know, people can't say, you're going to go trophyless, like they always say. Your team don't look like they're going to win anything. And it's good. Like I'm a bit gutted that it's in April, because I think this season in particular, we could have done without it. We could have done with having that wrapped up back in Feb, to be honest. I think it is one of them, but we'll try and win it, I'm sure. If Man City do win it, they'll be the only team to ever win the Carabao Cup, because the League Cup was called something else before it was the Carabao Cup. So we are the only ones that have actually ever won the Carabao Cup, which sounds crazy.
I think it's the Capital. It changed. It's the Capital One Cup, I think.
Yeah, it was One. They've had so many names for it. I can't even remember.
So many.
Literally,
Carling Cup.
They're changing it to the. I don't know if it's the Papa John's, because I'm sure that's the younger players.
That's something else, I think.
I don't know what they're changing it to, but they're changing it from the Carabao Cup at the end of the season. So if City don't win it, then it will be us and Spurs. But if City win it, it'll just be us. And if we did win it, we'd be level on League Cups with Liverpool, who are the biggest holders of the cup. That's why it was funny. Liverpool fan was saying to me the other day, "Oh, the League Cup is shit," and I was like, "But that's the thing that you have the most in. Every other trophy, there's teams that have more than Liverpool. The League Cup is the only thing that no one has more."
I think we the only thing we can kind of hold on to is like with the British side with the most European cups, but then we haven't got the most European cups. Like,
exactly. Yeah. So it's one of them.
I think if City were to win the Carabao Cup, Liverpool and City are the only two sides to win the League Cup 4 years in a row, because I think we did it in the 80s 4 years in a row, and obviously City win this year, they'd have done it 4 years in a row as well. So
yeah, it's a nice, you know what? Like, I just think people shouldn't look down on trophies, because Man United fans used to laugh about the Mickey Mouse trophy, and now they're struggling.
They can't win any.
You know, so one of them, and football goes in cycles. Like, Man City could be laughing, saying, "Oh, we don't really want the Carabao Cup." In 8 years' time, we could be struggling to win anything. So it's like, for me, it's like, I always appreciate every trophy that Man City lift. I don't care if you think it's small. I don't care if, you know, it's one of them things where it's like, "Oh, well, my club have won this trophy, which is better." It's like, I don't care. It's like when we won the league in 2012. I didn't care that Chelsea went and won the Champions League a few months later. Like, for me, Man City had won their first title, you know, and it was amazing. Like, I know Chelsea won it the same year, but that didn't overshadow Man City, you know, because we didn't care. We'd won the league. So it's one of them things. I think just teams, like, fans are a bit fussy with what trophies they, you know, you get Spurs fans saying, "Oh, I don't really want the Carabao Cup." What do you mean you don't want the Carabao Cup? Like, what's the alternative if you don't get the Carabao Cup? Like, I would understand Man City fans saying it. They might say, "I don't want the Carabao Cup, I want the Champions League." That makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's not, from a Spurs point of view, I'd want to win it, because it's, you know, and like you said, it's a winning mentality. Once you win one trophy, who's to say that they're not going to go and win the FA Cup next season? Who's to say they're not going to go and win Europa? You know, like, I think that it pushes you on to win other trophies, you know. So
it's kind of when we won the Champions League in a couple of years back, that pushed us on to win the Prem, because they're like, we've got arguably the biggest trophy you can win. Yeah. We've won the trophy now. Now we can go on and win the Premier League title. Now we're winners. Now we can go on and win this trophy. And I think Devante, I saw a comment from Devante in this. Wait, where was it? It was around.
What about
here? Liverpool feel like Liverpool feel like
I clicked.
Is that 4:28? 4:28 a.m.
Okay.
It was Liverpool feel like how City did last season. They'll come back next year with point to prove, like they did when they lost the Champions League. And then,
that's what
I get that. I get that, but the problem is with City City are better than. Thing is, you have to be good enough to be able to do it as well. And I don't feel this Liverpool team, however good their mentality might be, I don't think they're good enough to be able to come back, because I think, like I said, I think this team's finished. Whereas City was still a lot better than last season than what we are now. Like, City was still second, comfortably the best of the rest, and we're like stuck in seventh. So there's big differences in that as well. Like, and City were able to obviously spend some money, are able to spend money as well. Our owners will be tight, so I don't really see much hope for us, really, in the next 2 to 3 years.
I would expect Liverpool to come back fighting next season. You never know. You never know what's going to happen. Sometimes, teams that you expect, I don't know, people get injuries. Like, sometimes what you expect to happen and what actually happens are two different things. And you know, I was on Clubhouse earlier today, and people were talking about the Champions League, and they were saying, "Oh, Man City." Some opposition fans were like, "Man City have no pedigree in Europe, and for that reason, blah blah blah." And this City fan was actually making a good point, and he's saying, "Yeah, but that was the case for every single team at one point. Like, every team hadn't been to a final. Every single team hadn't won it. You know, so." And even if the clubs won it, it's like them specific players haven't. You know, you might get players where they just bottle it in the final. You know what I mean? So it's one of them things where Man City are going to have to push them barriers eventually. And, you know, the more that we try, I think the more it, you know, Man City, I'm not saying that they're going to win it soon, but they are going to win it. It's just a case
they will win it.
Yeah, it's just a case of when, and it could be now, it could be in 5 years. It could even be in 10 years. Who knows? But it's one of them things like Man City will eventually win it. And I think once we win it, that wall is knocked down. I think City could win it again. I think it'd be one of them. I'm not saying we go back to back, but I could see Man City winning 2 Champions Leagues in something like 5 years. I could see that happening because the way our team are and the way Man City is set up, when we win a trophy, it's not normally a one-off. And that's just the way we...
Winning the Champions League would do so much for your club. Like, it would just take you to that next... And NB, like, he said just after this comment, he said, Ryan, I think if FSG back Klopp properly, and when I mean properly, just a couple of new faces to take the squad to the next level, I think you'll be fine. I mean, if Klopp does get back like he deserves to get backed, I've got full faith in Klopp. Like, in all seriousness, I have this like Graham Potter obsession in it, but like Klopp's still the guy in it. Like Klopp's still the guy. So
these kids,
and I wouldn't. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, in all seriousness, like I have this like Graham Potter obsession because I really like him, but like whatever I say, like Klopp's still number one. Like I wouldn't swap Klopp for anyone. Yeah. Let's be honest, I wouldn't. Like Klopp's still the guy, and if he does get backed, I have full faith in him to make us champions again. Problem is, will he get backed enough to be able to rebuild this team? I don't think so. So
yeah. 1 minute. Neepan says, I think Tottenham would want the Carabao more than you guys because they want to break their trophy. They have to go for that 100%. They have to. You know what I mean? Like I said, they can't win the Europa League anymore. They're not probably going to finish top 4 unless, you know, everyone kind of bottles it. They've not got really anything else to play for, so they have to go for that. They have to hope that they win that. I think you get do you get in Europe? Oh, it's the FA Cup, isn't it? So it's not even that.
I think you get Europa League.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think they have to go for that trophy. They do, for sure. So I could see Tottenham winning that, and I don't want it to happen, but I could see it happening because that is their last chance. They're going to play their strongest squad. They're going to be well up for it. Like I say, depending on what happens to City, we might have to rest a few players. We might have to. So it'll just depend on what happens. I do expect City to still be up for it. I don't expect them to kind of do what they did in the FA Cup final against Wigan, where they didn't turn up. I don't expect that. I'd expect this team to turn up regardless of who plays. But yeah, it's going to be a 90-minute game. They're a bit of a bogey team for us. I don't really trust us against Spurs, if I'm being honest. So yeah, okay, we have a good record at Wembley. We tend to like Wembley. We spent a lot of time there over the past 10, 12 years, whatever. 10 years, I think. But you know what? Like, they played at home there for a season. So they've got a lot of familiarity with it as well. So it's going to be a tough game. I'm just hoping that we turn up. And I think if we do, we should be all right. But yeah, I could see.
Yeah, but I need to go now. Because,
yeah, no problem.
Cheers for having me. Cheers for having me on.
See you later.
We've got people in the comments. I'll see you soon.
See you later. Yeah, so Bargav, big up to him. He says, hi, Jan and Ryan. Just found the channel. Big up. When do you think quadruple watch should start? Do you know what? I just take trophies one at a time. I think if we can win if we can get the Prem wrapped up, that's one. Carabao Cup, obviously, it's a one-off game. We'll have to see. If we win that, it's a great step. But before that, we've got the FA Cup semi-final. I think if we get past Chelsea, we should realistically be winning that. So, yeah, if we get past Chelsea, I could see a potential domestic treble again. The Champions League is going to be the hard one. We'll have to see if we go past Dortmund first. But I take it a game at a time. If we go past Dortmund, we'll look on to the next round. If we go past Bayern or PSG, then we'll look at the final. But I can't see it happening. What about a Champions League and a Premier League double? That's perfect for me. That's what we need. I'd take that every day of the week. Devante win the Champions League or bottle the league from this position? Oh, I feel like I would rather. That's a hard one because I think if we bottle the league from this position, that means Man United win the league, which I don't want. And if we bottle the league from this position, that does not show signs of a good squad going forward. So I think that would do more harm than good. So I would win the Champions League or bottle it from this position. I think what you're trying to say is that which would I have? I would take the Prem. I would actually take the Premier League. As much as we want the Champions League, I wouldn't take bottling the league. I just think it's not too good. Leon's the most embarrassing. I think we played better in that game. I think the Spurs is the most embarrassing. I honestly do. I think we shouldn't have got beat the way we did. And to be fair, we didn't get beat. We got beat 1-0 and then we beat them. But we went out on away goals. So yeah, maybe you could argue that we didn't actually go out by a clear goal or anything like that. But I just think Tottenham, you would expect for us to beat. I think Leon had a decent year that year, but I don't know. They were both bad, to be fair. Liverpool wasn't great either. There's quite a few, if we're being honest. That's because he doesn't have the opinions that a lot of Liverpool fans have. He doesn't back his players if he doesn't think they're great. Going to Qatar, if Jamaica. I have a skin condition, so I don't know if it'd be too hot for me. I feel like it would be. Devante, Di Matteo did FA Cup and Champions League, but yeah, they're on for that again this season. I'm not even joking. They're actually on that. Unless you guys face us in Champions League final, I hope you go on and win it. I'd love that, but I just can't see it. You've got more of a chance than us. Liverpool feel like how City did last season. They'll come back next year. Oh yeah, gone through that already. Yeah, I think they'll come back fighting. I'd expect nothing less from Klopp. And then players. Bayern really worry me. Yeah, this is going to be hard either way, if we're being honest. PSG, Man City, Bayern, Dortmund side of the bracket is mad spicy. Yeah, it's good. You know what? You have to beat the best to be the best. And, you know, if we do get to the final, we'll have well deserved it. And if we win it, we'll be well deserving champions. But I can't see it. If City win the Champions League, has their takeovers past Chelsea takeover? You know what? It's interesting because they've got 5 Premier Leagues since they got taken over. We've got 5 this season, I think. So it's one of them. The Premier Leagues would be the same. Champions League would be the same. That being said, I think they've got more cups than us. So I wouldn't say it's surpassed it, but I'd say that it's, you know, it's close. We're catching up. If we won a league as well, again, you know, before they win it, then it would have, because obviously I'd rate the league higher than FA Cups, and the Champions League. If we won that again, that would surpass it, I'd say. Don't want to see Sane and Zinchenko. Yeah, me neither. I don't want to see him. Ryan, I think if FSG back Klopp properly, and when I mean properly, just a couple of new faces, take the squad to the next level, I think it'll be fine. Yeah, I think they'll do that. Robinho, best ever City player. You know what? I loved Robinho, but I think he was too good at that time. I think he's another Alano. He was there at the wrong time. He was a bit too good. 1-1. I don't mind City winning the Champions League. I don't want any of the other English clubs winning it. You know what? City fans are pretty humble. So if we win it, we're only going to get back at the fans that were bullying us about not winning it. So probably the best of a bad bunch for opposition fans. Bayern fans are annoying as hell. Yeah. Chelsea have the easiest route to the final, sadly. They do. I think they're nailed on for it, to be honest. I might see if I could put a bet on that, actually. When I see Raz go through 1-on-1, I know he won't score. Did it all last season. Yeah, his rate is better when he passes. He does score sometimes, but better when he passes. Sane was better than Sterling 17-18. I think he won the Young Player of the Year, if I remember correctly, that season. Ferran seemed the better finisher out of the three. Yeah, he definitely looked more clinical, especially at the start of the season. He definitely was our most clinical one. Man, let him be. I just think the FA Cup holds more weight than the Carabao Cup due to the history behind it. 100%, I agree with you on that. But if we did what City do and win the league and that every season wasn't playing, yeah, I just think it's when you win it. If the FA Cup's in February, I'm saying the FA Cup. I don't think it's the actual trophy. I think it's when you can win it. If you could win the league in Feb and carry on the season, just in Champions League and Cups, it would be different. But I think it can lead you to the title. It can push you onto the title. We've seen it with City. Like Ryan said twice now, we've won the Carabao Cup. Sets that winning mentality. You're in a title race and Man City just go clear. And, or they fight to the end and win it. And it's kind of like there's two. So, yeah, I think I always rate that because of that. Pappy, how highly do you rate Gabs? Do you know what? I actually really like Gabby. He's misunderstood, I'd say. Everyone seems to think, oh, he's a striker, so he should have 100 goals. And I agree with that. If you're a striker, you should have more goals. That being said, I don't think he's a natural striker. You can tell that, he gets into the box and then passes it. A natural striker doesn't pass it when they get into the box. Like you couldn't see like a Haaland passing the ball when he's in the box. He's just going to shoot. Gabs doesn't do that. I rate him. I think his press, everyone laughs at me when I say it, but his press is unreal. If it's 1-0 and we want to win that game 1-0, I'd have him on. He's a good player, but I think he's. If you watch him on the left wing, I think he's way more effective for us. So I think Pep's kind of agreed that that's where he's going to start from now on, and that's sort of where he played the other day, even though it looked like we were playing him as a striker. That wasn't the case. Guys, if you haven't already, just like the video. You're just checking it out. Champions League is after the season 2. Yeah, true. It is at the end. I just want to be in the final. I don't really think we'll win it, but at least if we get to a final, we can shut some people up at least. Do you know a Bayern YouTube channel called Bayern Now? I don't know anyone really that supports Bayern Munich apart from some guy that I used to know. Who's winning a trophy first, Tottenham or England? Tottenham. England are not going to win anything, I don't think. What would hurt more? Bottling the league to United or bottling the league to Liverpool? Definitely United. Liverpool. They're not really our rivals like that. Like, obviously, there's a whole Manchester-Liverpool rivalry. That's a thing outside of football and inside of football. Liverpool are our challengers at the moment, but yeah, I don't want to see Man United ever win a trophy ever again. I really don't. So yeah, there's just no way that I would. If Liverpool or Liverpool, I don't really. The only time I'd be annoyed from Liverpool winning it is if we're the challengers, which we have been in previous seasons. But yeah, if it's between Liverpool and United, I'm picking Liverpool every day. Smash the like button. Yes, please do that. Martial. Yeah, but Martial is all about ifs and buts, man. Come on now. Like, I'm not even saying that he's not better than Gabby, but I just want to see this great baller that he was brought in for £50 million because he wasn't some cheap baller like Gabby who came in for 20-something mil and was seen as, a good talent. He was brought in to be the next best thing, and I haven't seen that next best thing from him, So, yeah, he was brought in with, to win the Ballon d'Or and all this stuff in his contract. So he was rated very, very highly, and I haven't seen what we were promised in Martial. You know what I mean? 1.5 good seasons in 6 years is not what you pay 50-odd million for. That's all I'm saying. And, people got onto people like John Stones because he didn't have too great, he wasn't playing that well. And it was, you spent all this money. Why is he not what you spent all this money on? So I'm asking the same question for Martial. People say he's not a striker. He didn't play as a striker, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. his record is not good enough overall. So yeah, maybe by the end of the season he'll have more goals than John Stones in it. Maybe, who knows? But yeah, I'm gonna wrap up now because I've got to clean this house. But thank you guys for staying awake till 5 o'clock in the morning, if that's where it is, if that's what time it is where you are. Thank you for tuning in. Like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share it across your socials. And I will be back. What day is it now? I'll be back tomorrow night on the first XI. So make sure you go subscribe to them. And yeah, I'll be there at 10 o'clock with my girls doing a football ladies show. I think Flawless has Mandem United on Thursday, so make sure you check that out on Sarcasm City. And yeah, subscribe to Sarcasm City if you haven't already. And I will see you later. Peace.